What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scarce and creepiest videos on the net, on the web. That's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, let's do what we do best, man. Say it with me, y'all. Y'all know what we do. Let's seek the truth.
These two islands are 2 miles apart but have a 21-hour time difference. I see a lot of people saying this proves the Earth's flat. Is it though? So when you look at a map of America and Russia, right, they're not exactly that close together, luckily, right? But there's actually only a 2 mile gap between Russia and America. Now, there's of course rising tensions all around the world, World War III and all this crazy stuff going on, and I don't even know what to believe anymore. You probably think if you're in America, Russia's absolutely miles away, like you're not getting anywhere near that, but it's actually quite close, especially if you live in Alaska. So if you look at the gap between Russia and America, there are these two little islands, just two separate islands right in the middle. Now this one called Diomed is in America, but the island on the left is in Russia. 2 miles of sea just in between these two islands is what separates America and Russia, technically. But what's crazier again is that they both have completely different time zones. They actually have a 21-hour time difference, meaning you could be on Monday on one of them, go 2 miles to the other one, and you're back on Sunday. I have so many questions because surely the sunlight, just none of it makes any sense. I mean, obviously time is just an illusion, but still, that's mental.
I just want y'all to see I'm at a, look where we at, y'all. Somebody outside.
Whoa. They're picking up spirits.
I believe God is real. This is all proof to me. It is.
That's insane, man.
All proof to you. Nobody here.
They keep popping up. Is that a Tesla? Tesla can sense ghosts now?
Crazy. Crazy.
Part of Scary Movie 2 that has its very own Mandela effect. Do you know about this?
No.
The quote, "Take my little hand," is the correct quote, right? From the film.
Yes.
But everybody
Take my good hand.
thinks it's "Take my strong hand." And
Yeah, it is take my strong hand. Take my strong hand.
No, it's "Take my little hand." And my mind flew today.
Really? I thought it
realising
was take my strong hand.
I remember saying
Right?
take my strong hand.
that. Wait, so you have been affected
We
by the
wrote it,
Mandela
and yeah. But then again, people think I said I see white people in the original Scary Movie, and I said I see dead people.
Coming from Wait 2, I was like, wait, now I specifically also remember him saying, I see white people. That was literally
Yeah.
like in the trailer, I remember.
I see dead people.
I remember even the little hand thing. I remember strong hand, and I used to repeat that all the time growing up.
I think, okay, for the white people, dead people, that one kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the strong hand is when he's mixing the mashed potatoes. I think he says, let me use my strong hand.
Well, the Mandela effect, man, crazy. I don't, you forget that line that he wrote, yeah, we know he wrote the movie, so the fact that the Mandela effect is that strong, man, where it can affect the creator of a movie, and he wrote the lines, no telling, man, where where it stops.
This sarcophagus is 100 tons. You need 50 elephants to move it, and it's inside of this tomb. See all the carvings on it? They're not from the original sarcophagus, because if you look over here, this section is indented, and this indent still has carvings in it. So someone came after the fact and put all these carvings in to try to claim it or something. But it's literally taller than my head.
It is.
I'm 5'10".
Who built it then? Important questions.
And it was just humming. It was just sitting there and humming. And I couldn't believe it. There's a flying saucer. There's a flying saucer outside.
It wasn't particularly high up, maybe 1,000 feet, clearly under some sort of control.
Not an aeroplane, no wings, no propellers.
There's one there and there's one over there. And oh my God, they're over the power lines. And they moved incredible speeds, straight up in the air. We were crying thinking it was the end of the world. It was just utter mayhem. I feel funny saying flying saucers because it seems like it's some comical thing or it's not true.
The significance of the Westall case is the fact that there were so many people, a sheer volume of first-hand eyewitnesses. You've got kids out on recess saying the same thing 60 years later.
This is what I saw. That's what I saw. What
Saucers.
frustrates me, and I think all the other pupils, is the attempts of having it buried. Could we just find out what it was, please?
Payment waking up. And they recorded it.
The government just passed a brand new law where every single guy in America gets put on the military draft list automatically, and it starts this December. Within just 30 days of turning 18, you will officially be on the list, and it affects anybody from 18 to 26. Then, basically, you'll get a letter in the mail saying that you've been registered.
A man turning 18, applying for his driver's license, or filling out any government forms may also be signing up for the military draft.
You weren't even asked. Hello? They actually signed this back in December, but the reason why everyone is freaking out right now is because of what's happening in Iran. The peace talks just collapsed, and there's also a Navy blockade on Iranian oil. And in the middle of all of this happening, the government is basically just trying to make sure that they know where every single guy in America is. The reason why this law was able to pass is because they said that guys just stopped signing up, so the government decided to just do it for them. Nobody is saying that the Iran thing and the draft thing is connected, but the timing is obviously a little bit crazy. This does not mean that there is going to be a draft, but the government just made sure that they know exactly where every single guy in the country is if they ever needed one. They send you a letter after you've already been on the list, so I appreciate the heads up.
We are in a tick infestation. What I'm about to tell y'all, I need y'all to really pay attention to what's going on right now.
Okay.
Because this shit crazy. The CDC and other people are reporting that this might be the worst season for ticks ever across the board. The crazy part is, y'all, I had a tick on my arm today. I was like, what the? They are saying Lyme disease cases is through the roof. They said half of the ticks that they tested came back positive for Lyme disease. They have never seen anything like this before. So if you one of them people that live by long, tall grass or by the woods, you like being over there or outside a lot, you better check yourself. Or if you got a dog and you walking them by the woods, you better check them. These ticks, they not just causing Lyme disease. They're also causing a disease where you lose the ability to eat red meat. For some people, it might be good. But for others, they love their meat. Pause. I just want to know, why is this outbreak spreading like this? And why are half of the ticks that they've been testing coming back positive like this? Then they got a vaccine. Something weird going on, y'all. Stay updated with me. Hit that follow button.
I will.
Nigga, I swear to God, this is a rabbit mixed with a deer.
How's a Debra?
A lot of people are starting to notice that we've had really strange weather phenomena in the last couple weeks. It all started when people began recording and reporting red lightning all over the sky. According to scientists, this red lightning, also known as red sprites, has always been around, but people are still finding it strange, seeing as how it came out of almost nowhere. On New Year's Eve, lightning struck the U.S. Capitol, the Washington Monument, and the Empire State Building. And although lightning does typically strike high points, some people believe that all three of these buildings being struck on the same day is more than a coincidence. To top it all off, people all over the UK, Canada, and the US are reporting a very dense and mysterious fog. What's really strange is that the people recording it claim that the fog is giving off a very metallic smell, as well as giving them headaches, a cough, and sickness in general after encountering it. This has led to multiple theories. While some believe that the fog was purposely implemented to cover up something in the sky, others believe that nanoparticles, or smart dust, has been sprayed. But leave a like and let me know what you think about all this. Have you encountered this fog, and do you think it's suspicious?
I never encountered that fog, so But I've seen clips about it. They put some in the fog now, bro. All this freaking weather, man, is being engineered.
GM, Cadillac, and Chevy say you're going to pay a monthly fee. They're going to phase out the ability for your Apple or Android phone to connect to your car, to see your navigation, to text people back, to listen to your Apple, Spotify music. No. You have to pay for their service, and then you can utilize all that stuff. Originally, they said it was only going to be on EVs. Now they've announced by 2028, every car that comes out will have only their software, and your phone will no longer have the ability to connect it because they will block it. There's no way of getting around it because it looks like every manufacturer is going to go this route, and they expect you to pay this well after you've paid for the car that has the feature that they're blocking, so that they can monetize and have another stream of income. It's not enough to gouge and sell you an over-expensive, not very well-made car. On top of that, you will pay monthly for the rest of your life if you want to use navigation or play your music on their car.
Military officials are claiming to have used an unprecedented new technology called Ghost Murmur in the rescue of a downed pilot in Iran, and the CIA is confirming the use of this technology for the first time. Described as a long-range heartbeat detection tool using quantum magnetometry and AI to isolate the electromagnetic signature of a single human body from miles away and across mountainous terrain. Some people are speculating that this technology was also used to track people like Maduro and target people within Iran. If this tech is real, it can locate a downed airman in mountainous terrain. What else can it sense? The possibility of mapping out hidden bunker systems, tunnels, finding soldiers underground, and locating targets anywhere, anytime, any place in the world is a pretty powerful tool.
Do you guys remember this from 2022? Yeah, when the baby literally dressed up like a reptile? It's interesting, okay? Now, when I did my past life regression, I saw a reptile just like this with those long black fingernails strangle me to death on another planet. So if you guys have ever done a QHHG session, you can go back and visit our lifetimes. And I went back to one of my most important timelines, and I was living on a water planet, and these reptile figures like this that could breathe fire came in and destroyed the planet. And I saw one of them, just like this, with very long black nails, choke me to death. I could literally feel it under my hypnosis session, and I was bawling my eyes out. It is up on my YouTube if you guys want to see it, under the healing playlist. But when I saw that, it all made sense, because now this is the end of that timeline where they run the world, okay? They don't run it anymore. Their vibration no longer functions here because we as humanity have shifted the planet's frequency. According to the Schumann resonance, we are vibrating at such a higher frequency that these beings cannot sustain or survive, and that's why they're all being exposed.
Rain clouds. Where did these phenomena be taking place at, bro? I never see them.
Balenciaga back at it again. They just came out with this shipping box dress for $8,900. God, something was in my eye. Y'all want to see some more pictures? Oh yeah, $8,900 Balenciaga shipping box. I don't know if y'all are interested in wearing a cardboard box around your body, but to spend $8,900 on this is a little crazy. I don't know why they would come out with something like this, but this is the saddest part, right? The sad part is people are actually going to buy this. And y'all act like this is real fashion. This looks crazy. It is literally a cardboard box. I don't think y'all understand that. And all because of the name, the brand, the style, and the price of it. People are gonna say, oh man, I'm buying this. Yeah, this fire. Now, I'm gonna be real. I don't think people are gonna buy this and wear this out in public. But you're definitely gonna see somebody wear this at like a really big event, an Oscar show, an award show, or whatever. Somebody that just doesn't have anything to do with their money is gonna purchase this. Y'all let me know though, if y'all had the extra money to spend, the $8,900 extra, by the way, would y'all buy this? This cardboard box dress? Like and follow for more. This is crazy.
Why would I buy a freaking cardboard box suit or something like that, man? I could go in my closet, bro, and make it down. And make my one myself, bro, for $0 instead of spending $8,900 on a cardboard suit, bro, by Balenciaga. No.
Simon Cowell has claimed there is life on another planet after a bizarre close encounter over his garden. The VGT and X Factor judge was left stunned after spotting a mysterious object streaking across the sky above his home.
Okay, there is life on another planet, and here is proof. That.
No, it's that way.
No, it's that. Look. That is unbelievable. Message.
We gotta talk about Palm Beach Pete. Oh, Palm Beach Pete, fam, he was going through a lot. Obviously, everyone thinks he's Epstein. Yeah,
Now,
because
a lot of
people started diving in. I think he activated his Instagram last month. Only last month. And if you notice, in one of the Epstein interviews, that was never supposed to release. It was a secret Epstein interview. Oh, really? The one where he said he was a devil? Oh, yeah. So he has a tendency to mess up stuttering Eps. No. Now, in a podcast with Palm Beach Pete, what does he have trouble pronouncing? There's no way. Eps. And he has the same stutter the exact same way. I'm gonna live films, maybe? And the next thing
As your firm, Mr. Edwards and Mr. Jaffe, has been described by the U.S. Attorney as perpetrating one of the largest frauds.
Literally the same stutter, and literally the same way he said the. No, even the way he talks. The way he talks is it's the cadence. People looked into it too. Yeah. They drew a face scan of it. And you can see like pretty much the history you can see in your face. Yeah. You can't really lie on your face marks. Yeah. Wrinkles over time. Yeah. They're very unique to that person. Palm Beach and Jeffrey Epstein have the same line. No, man. And Palm Beach Pete has been posting really weird content looking like full Epstein right here. What the heck? You've been hit back. You've been hit back. Smooth.
Up America, I'm here at a Walmart and I want to show you the electronic pricing tags that can change prices based on surge pricing. So as you know, a lot of places are starting to replace actual paper tags with digital tags. Here at the Walmart by me, they're doing that now. So let me show you what these look like and let me show you the difference. So here's a digital tag. These prices can change at a moment's notice. And they do throughout the day. Every single one has been changed to a digital tag, so these prices will go up 3 or 5 cents depending on what time of day it is, and they'll go up when more people are here shopping, and they'll go down when fewer people are here. So let me show you the difference. Here's an actual tag, and then here's the digital tag. See, they look identical, but this one is a digital tag. You can even scan it and change it, or it'll change depending on if they program it. And this is the paper tag, and this is on every single fucking one almost. And you can see here behind the glass. So this is happening at every Walmart across the country, and this will be happening at every grocery store across the country at some point. They can literally take these prices and change them up and down a couple of cents throughout the day and make millions. And then they'll incrementally raise them so it'll always be higher. See, look at these prices. These prices are indicating that they've raised them and lowered them slightly throughout the day, and they have. There's videos online showing these prices changing. And they're also planning on using your phone data to change the prices as you're perusing the products. That's not happening now, but that's coming in the future. So a price just for you, fucking you for profit personally.
That's insane.
2026, I told y'all the veil is gone. And now we got rappers popping out, shape-shifting on stage, and this is recently at the Coachella event, man. I don't know what rapper this is. If y'all know, let me know, but on From the Grave, shit is crazy.
Any seekers, bro, did y'all go to Coachella and see that Sway Lee event? It's basically like we could change their morph. That's like my second clip seeing it, and it definitely looked like something was going on, bro. I got any seekers who witnessed that firsthand? I'd love to hear your experience down below.
It's real?
Yeah,
absolutely not. The Dogon tribe in Africa talks about the time before the moon. Literally, there was a time before the moon, which means what? Which means the moon was implanted there. It was not made by, quote unquote, the original OG God. It was implanted there, and like literally, there's a whole science about how it connects to Saturn and how it's literally like an energy suck station, how it's influencing the water and the magnetism of the reproductive cycle, the hormonal cycle. We're 70% water. If it affects the ocean, is it affecting us? Absolutely. And what's inside the earth, right?
Saturn, huh? I feel like I've heard that Saturn is like Satan or something. It's like also the word, I don't know, I've heard like that. And when you listen to Saturn, I don't know if you've ever heard of the sort of the tone that comes from each planet, but when you get to Saturn, it sounds like hell.
Yeah, I've heard of the tones that the planets emit. I haven't particularly sat and listened to Saturn, but yeah, I'm not scared. Maybe I'll listen to it, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. Like the Saturn is communicating with the moon, and there's like a connection there, and it's pulling energy, and there was a time before the moon, which means it was planted there.
Can you see that? Goes all the way down to the land again. What was down there? What was going on back then? Come on. Across the street from this thing. Damn right. Goes down the whole block. The Armory. Do they have anything to do with each other? King's Highway? What is that? That makes sense? That makes sense, huh? They just added that. Come on. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Who are they looking out for? Queens, where I'm living now? I'm from Brooklyn, Kings County. I live in Queens. I'm royalty. Make it make sense, New York City. Damn right. On a busy day in New York City. Look at that archway. Let's get into it, man. Come on. Sound off. Am I nuts? Am I nuts? Kings County? Come on, man. Sound off in the comments. Damn right. What are they doing? Look, where's the guy with the bow and arrow? That's New York City. What was going on down there? What was going on back then? 1891. Make it make sense, man.
I mean, that looks like a scene from Clockwork Orange. Like, it's just creepy and eerie. And it gets even creepier and more eerie if you can look inside the boat and see what I see. Some of us know who this woman is, no explanation needed. But to the ones who don't, the world will tell you that she's just a fashion designer. So tell me this, why are some of the most high-profile elite celebrities swanning and pandering around this woman like lost puppies? A good comparison would be like if you've ever worked for a company and the main guy visits the building and you see all the managers swarming around like blue bottle flies on dog shit. This is the same woman that so many artists say help with album sales and things that are not in her niche or expertise. So why is this? And you can either go and find that out for yourself, but I'm sure the comment section will send you on the right track.
In any case, AGI will not emerge from a government-funded program. It will emerge from one of the tech giants currently funding this multi-billion-dollar research. So then you'll be living in a world that you didn't agree to, didn't vote for, that you are co-inhabiting with a super-intelligent alien species that answers to the goals and rules of a corporation. An entity which has access to the comms, beliefs, everything you ever said, and the whereabouts of every person in the country via your personal data. Surveillance capitalism can toggle pretty quickly into digital totalitarianism. At best, these tech giants become the self-appointed arbiters of human good, which is the fox guarding the henhouse. They would never ever think of using that power against us and strip mining us for our last drop of cash. That's a scarier scenario than what I presented in the Terminator 40 years ago, if for no other reason than it's no longer science fiction.
So there's all the Artemis stuff
Scary.
in the news. I want to take you back a couple years. Do you guys remember when Apple dropped that movie called Fly Me to the Moon? If you guys don't remember it, the premise of this movie was in 1969, they had an alternate backup plane to fake a moon landing just in case they couldn't get to the moon.
The whole world will be watching. We can't afford to lose to the Russians. We need to shoot the backup version of the moon landing.
You mean to fake it?
Well,
what I find really funny about this, do you know what they called their project to fake the moon landing in that movie? Yeah, of course, they called it Artemis. You can't even make this stuff up, or maybe you can, and they do. Because in 1977, they also made a movie called Capricorn 1, and this movie is about a fake mission to Mars. So just before launch, 3 astronauts are secretly pulled from their spacecraft due to a life support failure that would kill them in flight. Instead of canceling the mission, the government officials decide to fake a Mars landing in a hidden desert studio to avoid public embarrassment. The astronauts are forced to go along with the deception while the mission is broadcast to the world as if it were real.
It's hard to believe you really are that far away in space.
It's hard for me to believe it, too.
So maybe it is as the Chili Peppers say, space is the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
I promise y'all that y'all don't want to miss this video. This right here is one of the real reviews that we all been waiting for. We've always had a speculation about these meta glasses and what they have been doing, the radiation, y'all. Do you see this lady's face? This is what the meta glasses did to her face, y'all. She's thinking this is a chemical burn. But if you really look at her face, y'all, it's radiation. Look at that, bro. She said the glasses exploded all over her face. Exploded all over her face, bro. If y'all got one right now, man, y'all better check it out, because even with these e-bikes blowing up, y'all don't think these things can do it too? Look at this, bro.
Okay, don't come for me. I'm going to get my hair done after work, but I didn't want any filters on this because I wanted y'all to see something. Do you see these marks here, and here in my face, and then all of the acne scars in my face right now? This all happened because I bought some Oakley Metas. I don't know what type of chemical they have in those glasses. It burned everywhere that the glasses sit. You can literally see the line where my glasses sit. It burned everywhere that the glasses sit, and it completely broke my face out. It was literally the only thing that I did differently. And it completely, whatever chemical is in these glasses, it just like tore me in half. Then on top of that, and I want y'all to keep in mind that this was close to 2 months ago, and these bruises and scars still have not gone away. I have tried everything to get this stuff to clear up. Speaking of me trying everything to get this stuff to clear up, I want this to see if I can get rid of the circles and things like that. Let me be clear with y'all, this shit ain't nothing but greasy. Look at this. I want y'all to see how greasy this mess is. Like, look how shiny my face is. I'm not about to get on here and play with y'all.
See, I knew there was a reason why every content creator is pushing those glasses, bro. Every single one of them has one on. Bro, so y'all know what I did. Bro, she's not the first one that's going through this. Look at this. The same thing happened to my friend with the Oakley glasses. She kept saying with the glasses, but I was like, how? So, bro, what are they doing? The person said as soon as they got an Oakley, it tore their face up as well, too. And people are also agreeing with me that it's also radiation, that it's not chemical. I told y'all. Y'all, just the fact that they got all the content creators pushing it out right now, man, how do y'all know they're not being paid to do that? And then all of this happened to the lady, y'all, and then the sun heating up, too. This is probably gonna happen a lot more, bro. If I were you, bro, with meta glasses, y'all do what y'all want, bro. But the shit is here, man. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it.
Jim Carrey actually was at the award show the other day, and he does not have a doppelganger. So after Jim Carrey was seen at an award show in France just a few days ago, people were very worried because he obviously doesn't look like what we thought he looked like, because he stopped really acting in 2022, so we really haven't seen him in person that much in the past 4 years. Because this is what we remember Jim Carrey to look like when he was very popular in all of his movies. And this is how he showed up to the award show in France a few nights ago. Now there's a man on IG right here called Alexis Stone who apparently makes himself look like all of these celebrities by putting on fake masks, fake hair, and fake entire bodies. And because of everyone speculating what was going on with Jim Carrey, he posted this AI photo of a Jim Carrey mask with the hair and some fake teeth and fooled literally everyone. Look at this. 500,000 likes, 500,000 shares on this post where he was lying about being Jim Carrey. And he has other people here questioning it too, saying that they're actually believing the makeup guy and not Jim Carrey or Jim Carrey's publicist, that it was actually Jim Carrey at the award show. But Jim Carrey and his publicist have both come out and said this was Jim Carrey. He had actually been practicing his French for the past 4 months to give his acceptance speech in French. So that guy, the guy on Instagram, is completely lying to you all.
Uh-oh. Plot twist. It's not Jim Carrey. It's a clone, bro. That a plot twist for you guys, man? Oh, bro. Everybody's freaking going crazy over that Jim Carrey thing, man. Or maybe it's just because he's aging. Everybody ages, bro. Did anybody think of that?
What is that? A guy named Shanman on here caught this in Laredo, Texas on a trail cam. Prepare yourself. I don't know how they would have faked this because this thing is floating unless this was edited in, but you can see that the artifacting looks very similar to the artifacting in the rest of the photo. It doesn't look like it was edited. You can see this thing has black wings and what looks like goat hooves. So is this a fallen angel? Let's take a look at its face.
The hell?
Now I just want to be straight with you guys. This is not a joke video. Like, I'm not making this as a joke. This is horrifying. And it kind of looks Egyptian in a way, don't you think? For some reason. It's almost like this thing has been here for a very, very long time. Like it was awoken from a tomb. So what do you think it is? Share it with your friends and like and follow for more videos like this one.
Did you know there's a strange coincidence around the U.S. men's gold medal winning hockey team? It's a connection to the Miracle team of 1980. You know, the team that beat the Russians. They even made a movie about it. Miracle, starring Kurt Russell. But how could the gold medal winners of this Olympics be connected to a team from 46 years ago?
Break it down.
And a movie that's been out for 22 years. Well, here you go. In the movie, just like on any team, players try out and some make it and some don't. The movie Miracle is based on the facts. And the facts are, in the movie, they show a list of people getting cut. Look down at number 21. Hard to believe, right? And there you see him in the corner of your screen, a player from 1980 that was cut from the hockey team, Jack Hughes. How crazy is it that the gold medal winning final goal was made by none other than Jack Hughes? Yeah, go ahead and say it. It's just a coincidence, but could have been a whole lot of other names. So what do you think? I'm just happy that Jack Hughes of today didn't get cut. Did you know?
Bro, travel back and went forward to the future, man. He said, I ain't getting cut this time, bro. And he had the winning goal to get gold. And they both had the same name, bro. I don't know what the hell is going on, man. You know, like how the universe, how everything has to line up for a coincidence like that to happen.
It's cookie food. Old food. Right? This is the ingredients. This is the cookie. Watch this. Exactly. So I put pizza.
Normal.
Walk away. No zapping, no nothing.
Fucking shark on me.
Oh, I'm out. What the?
Holy fuck.
Kayak too?
Holy
Go, bro.
Fuck. What is this thing? This is not fake. It's not AI. This is from a live broadcast of a minor league baseball game. This was posted to the social media of the Hub City Spartanburgers. They are an affiliate of the Texas Rangers. The object floated around the field and stopped the game for a little bit until the groundskeeper came to collect it. It totally baffled the announcers because they could not figure out what it was.
No one has any clue what it is.
What is that?
I'm trying to make sense of it myself.
On the comments under the social media post, you have tons of people saying, well, it's obviously this, but they all disagree on what it is. This person says it's cottonwood tree fluff. This person says it's ocean foam. And then there's lots of people saying, well, it's obviously just soap bubbles, like dish soap bubbles, but is that what it looks like to you? Somebody speculated that it came from a car wash, but I've lived around many car washes in my time. I've never seen a big hunk of bubbles just go rolling down the street and mostly staying intact the whole time. As you see, it eventually falls apart. I am not speculating that it is anything supernatural or that it's an alien life form or a jellyfish or anything else, but I honestly don't know what it is. But I am also very certain that somebody out there does.
Oprah appearance changed once again, y'all. Y'all remember the earlier video I made when I was like, she was looking different. She was looking a little old, but she was looking young again. This time, she looking way young. And I'm sitting here wondering, is it the Ozempic? Or is it a little too much babies? Oh, stop. Y'all know she with the elites too? Y'all know what they do?
What is that? Ooh. heebie-jeebies, bro. Get it out.
Oh, this real ghost photo is so creepy, and I really don't know what to think about it. This person takes a selfie of herself in the bleachers at a football game. A couple is sitting on the bleacher in front of them. I'm sure you notice it immediately. A woman has some sort of spirit attached to her. There's absolutely nothing else abnormal in this photo besides this. The spirit attached to this woman almost looks like it's wearing maybe a wedding dress and a veil with a crown of flowers. When you look closely at it, it almost looks like it has a skull for a face. And it looks like it has its arm wrapped around this woman.
Yep.
Now I brightened the image and played with the contrast a little so you can see it better. Whatever this is translucent. It almost looks like a mist. But you can clearly see the hair, the veil, the crown of flowers, and the illuminating hand sitting on the woman's shoulder. And the arm itself has like a shine to it. It almost looks like plastic. Like a strange x-ray of something standing next to this woman. It really makes you wonder what this is and why it's attached to her. What do y'all think?
They walk among us. They have been for centuries now. Can you not see them or feel them? Pay attention.
Que avião, cara, desvoador. Oxi. Tá estranho essa porra aí, velho. Tem um S24 aí?
Dá um zoom aí fudido aí.
What is
Cadê
that?
o S24? Tem não?
Não, o meu é igual dele.
Cara, olha aqui.
Drones? Can't be though. It's rectangle, bro. What the hell is that?
Chris K here with, you've heard about it, here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, oh, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. God.
Just bite it, bro. It's very simple, man.
So much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth.
Bro did not want that burger, man. You know, ever since, man, the McDonald's CEOs did this, bro, it's like CEOs of other companies are like coming out and actually taking like a big bite of the burger, bro. There's actually a Burger King one, man. I can try to find a clip for you guys, bro. We can break down, man, if these people actually even like their products that they putting out that everybody else is eating, but you can tell by the light in his eyes, bro. He does not want to eat that, man.
That is so good. That's a big bite for a big arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You know, you've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch, but Big Arch, try it when you can get it.
He even taking another bite. That's how you know he did. He's like just like phasing through everybody, bro. Back 13 hours later. Like a shadow now, bro.
The ocean just got a whole lot stranger today because scientists have just discovered that something is producing what they call dark oxygen on the sea floor. And to put this discovery in perspective, until this paper was published, Breathe and Rely on to Survive could not be produced without sunlight. Yet the depth of ocean where this discovery was made was in complete darkness. And not only that, because it also seems to be produced by non-living, non-biological sources described as lumps of metal on the sea floor, which is another baffling discovery because scientists also previously thought that most oxygen was created by living organisms. But it gets crazier. The paper outlines that trillions of these naturally occurring metallic nodules each produce an electrical current close to that of a AA battery. Goddamn, cavemen had batteries and electricity and didn't even know. And as you were probably taught at school, or not, this electrical current can split water, H2O, into hydrogen and oxygen. I mean, just the fact that we can still be making groundbreaking discoveries like this is wild enough, but it gets even more interesting because just think about what that could mean for other planets. If we now know that oxygen can be produced by non-living organisms, it changes our perspective on which exoplanets out there could have an oxygen atmosphere, which, as you know, is necessary to sustain life.
Oh, we out. Boats, damn, what the heck? Better be careful.
You motherfuckers. Bro, what if I told you that the whole world was under one big dome? And inside that one big dome, hiding other unknown places we haven't seen, like Atlantis. But for some reason, these old Mappa Munda maps put Earth in a dead center. What are we doing? Why are we the only ones surrounded by ice? What the hell we do? You motherfucker.
We in jail, bro?
So basically Earth is in a snow globe. And nobody's shaking that motherfucker. So if the firmament is a dome and meteors are, maybe NASA rockets don't go to space. Or maybe we somewhere we don't even know where we at, bro. Just know whatever we in, it's big, bro. It's big, bro. It's big. Bigger than what y'all thinking.
Check this out. This is happening right now. This is in Manhattan, Kansas. Are you seeing that emission? Well, I pulled up the tower activity to see what was going on, and there was an incredible amount of that rippled radar. The stuff that, the official statement is that it's just a reflection off of birds and insects. However, I've been able to predict catastrophic storms simply based off of these so-called glitches. And typically, I would see tornadic activity moving through a storm like that. But instead, we're seeing this massive spiral emission on radar. And then I pulled up the satellite activity to see what the clouds were actually doing. And there were ripples in the clouds. You seeing that? It's hard to see because there's a million layers of clouds, but there's definitely ripples there. Now, I sent multiple screenshots of what was going on to a couple different AI sources, and they all agreed. They had initially said, oh, it looks like there's a volcanic eruption in the area. Are there volcanoes in the area? Because I didn't give it context. And I was like, no, there's no volcanoes. Basically, what it seems like is happening is there's a high level of pollution that's being spiraled down like a vortex. In the area, there really wasn't a whole lot of excessive pollution that you could see in the air quality index. However, there's been a crazy amount of trails have been passing through that winter storm that's currently moving across from west to east.
There's no way you can tell me that they didn't already know that they was going to fire Kristi Noem this week. They had her replacement set already. But Kristi Noem being fired is overshadowing something that they don't want you to see. After today, almost 60,000 pages from the Epstein files have been deleted. The DOJ removed more files off that website. And to add insult to injury, you're supposed to be able to download that data on that website. People have been having problems downloading that data on that website. Now you got to ask yourself, why are they removing these files? They are actively removing these files right in front of our face. Mind you, they're saying that they took these files offline for further review. Further review of what? Because if they wanted to review these files, they could have looked at these files the same way we were looking at these files. Why take them down? I wonder why they want to impeach Pam Bondi for the way she's handling these Epstein files. My thing is this. Whenever they tell you to look left, make sure that you look right. Because how they say it, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep.
Something like that. Y'all ain't slick.
Bro. What's up with them taking down all those files, man? People just trying to seek the truth, bro. 2026 year. I mean, this year, bro. A lot of people waking up, man. A lot of stuff happening in front of our eyes, bro. Like you said, when they want you to look left, look right, bro. This truck, okay. He said something was staring at him. I don't see it yet. Oh, what the? I saw those eyes pop up. Oh, what the? What is that? Middle of the night, pitch black, can't see nothing except for a pair of eyes. Just trying to get in, bro. What the f? I would have started that truck up, yo. You just sitting there.
Here's where it gets wild. There are alleged connections between these deep underground bases. Supposedly, there's a network of high-speed maglev trains running through deep underground tunnels, connecting these domes and others across the country. Some people claim that you could travel from the East Coast to the West Coast in just a couple of hours using this secret subway system. Apparently, it's not just in the US. There are reports of similar facilities all over the world, like the Pine Gap facility in Australia. Officially, it's a joint defense space research facility, but there are theories that it goes miles deep into the earth and houses advanced alien technology. Thing is, with the boring technology that we have today, creating these vast underground networks isn't just possible, it's practical. Companies like Elon Musk's The Boring Company have shown how quickly and efficiently we can dig tunnels. And that's just the tech that they're showing us. Imagine what kind of advanced boring machines might exist in classified military projects. Now, some of you may think that this underground boring tech is some new, cutting-edge stuff, but the crazy thing is, people have been dreaming up and even trying to build these underground machines for over a century. In 1904, there was this guy named Pyotr Raskazov who was from Moscow who designed what might have been the first underground self-propelled combat unit. Fortunately, his designs got lost during World War I, only to pop up later in Germany.
You got underground freaking trains, bro. They say you can take it from the East Coast to the West Coast within a couple of hours, man. Could you guys imagine that, bro, traveling like that? Underground, bro. Alright. That GPS, try to set that man up, bro. He get that man a raise. He was dedicated, bro. He still did it too.
What are these people doing, y'all? Apparently, this radiation fog has migrated over to Los Angeles now. It's still in Central California, but now look at Hollywood is completely swallowed up, y'all. What? Okay, check this out, y'all. What is this? Because isn't fog supposed to dissipate when the sun hits?
Yeah.
Right? And the sun looks like it's at its peak right now. So this thing shouldn't even be here. What is this? What is this? Why does it look like it's another dimension? I mean, things go in the fog and they completely disappear. Who knows what's happening in the fog and the mist? Doesn't this thing look like an ocean?
They do.
Oh my God. And then I don't know if you're hearing, but people are experiencing all types of complications from this thing. Look at this car. This car completely disappears, bro. Y'all, that car is gone. Where did it go? What the fuck, homie? This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is downtown LA right now.
Can't see nothing.
That's where all the buildings are. Can't fucking see if I say. Yeah, and this has been going on for 3 weeks now. 3 weeks. What kind of fog is so powerful that it will not dissipate from sunlight? And the thing is, people can't even stay away from this. They have to commute through this, y'all. You see what I'm saying? Sun is shining, but this thing is not going anywhere. What is this? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. This looks apocalyptic. The shift is here. Let's get it.
Married by this person who he thought was a woman. In 2023, this 26-year-old Indonesian man named AK met Adinda Kansa on Instagram, where they hit it off and eventually met in person and started their relationship. Throughout their relationship, Adinda wore a hijab that covered her head, her face, except for her eyes because of her religion. A year later, they got married and had a very small ceremony with only AK's family attending, and Adinda's family was not there because she said that her entire family had passed away. After they tied the knot, AK became extremely suspicious of his new wife because she constantly avoided any intimacy and was always making excuses. But also, AK said that Adinda was wearing her hijab at home at all times, so at this point he knew that she was hiding something. He then began searching for any information he could find on his wife, and that's when he found her old address, and when he went to go visit that home, he found her parents, which she said were dead. The parents told AK that Adinda is actually a man, and they had no idea that they got married. Adinda was arrested, and after an investigation was done, it was determined that he intended to marry AK so that he can steal his family's assets. Adinda was charged with fraud, and if convicted, he faces up to 4 years in prison. Whatever you
guys think that should be the fate for all catfishes out there, man? Because that's basically what it was. We're going to call a spade for a spade. That was a catfish. Like, how the hell, but how did he let it go that far, man? He got married to him and he didn't even know? That's mind-blowing, man. If you're going on with somebody, man, you got to do your research nowadays. That's crazy.
Do never go searching for this video. These 5 friends were forced to kill each other by the Mexican cartel. These 5 young, aged from 19 to 22, were looking for some sort of employment, and they were promised a high-paying job at a call center. But when the alleged contact was taking them to meet the people for the job, it actually turned out to be a whole scheme to recruit them to the Mexican cartel. And when all 5 of these boys said they didn't want to join, the cartel then said okay and tied them up, taped their mouth and took a picture, and then recorded one of the friends killing all the other 4 friends. And after that, they put the 5th one, who just killed all of his friends, into a car and set it on fire. I am telling you right now, do not go searching for this video because you will find it. And trust me, you do not want to see something like this. This case is absolutely horrific, and the fact that this happens way more often than we think is just extremely scary and disturbing. It's just sad that these young men were just trying to get a job and make some money for themselves. But instead, it turned into a living nightmare. Rest in peace, these 5 young men.
Here's one more reason to be terrified of the ocean. Of course, it's scary when the sea is stormy, but according to Japanese legend, you should be more afraid of calm waters. Because that is when the umibozu is said to rise from the deep. This ghostly, pitch-black figure will not only scare you into a state of shock, but it will then throw you overboard and drown you in the sea.
It is criminal that no one knows what this guy is doing right now. A man is attempting to become the first person ever to walk the entire length of the United States barefoot. He started his over 5,000 kilometer walk in February, and as you'd imagine, his feet have already taken an absolute battering. He's already had to walk through snow, which he says was so cold that it makes every pebble feel like you're walking over a Lego brick. But if the cold wasn't bad enough, he will soon have to walk through the Midwestern summer heat, which will easily reach temperatures of over 100 degrees. And because of that, similar to Russ Cook running through the Sahara, he says that he's going to have to walk overnight because during the day, the paving will just be too hot. He's almost been hit multiple times by massive semi-trucks not paying attention and pushing him off the road. The nerve endings on his feet are so bruised from stepping on rocks that it keeps him up at night. He's had really bad infections that haven't had enough time to heal, because if he does take days off and doesn't make it to New York before the winter, he is screwed. And the part which just blows my mind, he's doing all of this to raise awareness for men's mental health. Despite this amazing cause and what he's putting himself through, he has only 139 followers on TikTok and only 412 on YouTube. I mean, that should be illegal. He's got about 6 months of walking left to do. So please, let's show this man some support and push him through.
That's crazy, man. He's doing that for a good cause, and hopefully, man, just catches some fire, catches some heat, so more people are aware of that. Barefoot, too? That's a different type of breed right there, man.
Have you heard the creepy story behind this photo?
What?
She's been named the Expressionless. Well, the story takes place in June of 1972. Hospital employees were very shocked and scared when this woman entered the hospital wearing a blood-soaked gown. What was terrifying is that she had no emotion on her face. When the doctors went to sedate her to see what was wrong, she started to fight back. This is her in that very moment. Now, this is a creepypasta, but some believe that this photo is actually true and that this is a real creepy-ass woman. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
This is a real sign in a city called Davao in the Philippines, and there's a lot of history behind it. Now, as you can see in the sign, it says, "Waving children, please wave back," with a pair of children with their arms up. This sign serves as a warning to everyone passing by that there are ghosts of children in the area. It's believed there's a ton of supernatural activity all around the area, and if you don't wave back, these children will come and haunt you. Upon researching the story, I haven't found anyone reporting that they haven't waved back to any of the children. I've only heard accounts of people waving back and then being okay afterwards. So with that information in my head, I can only assume the worst happens if you don't wave back. So obviously, if you're traveling in the Philippines and you see a child wave to you, wave back for your own safety. The last thing you want is a ghost child following you and haunting you for the rest of your life. Let me know what you guys think about this. I also covered a video on the Aswang, which is another Filipino urban legend. Very scary stuff. Definitely go check that out. And if you have any suggestions, let me know.
You guys waving back, man? Nah, I wouldn't want no ghosts, no spirits, bad energy, juju following me, so I'll have to wave back. I don't need that following me around.
This is a true horrifying story, part 32. In parts 25, 26, and 27, I warned you all about the most dangerous book that was ever written, Shams al-Ma'arif. This book is a portal to the world of jinns and demons. There's a person that read this book, and this person faces traumatic incidents every single day. She's a woman from Jordan. She graduated university being the top-graded student. She is a genius. She has read hundreds of novels. She had a strong passion for books. She heard about this book called Shams al-Ma'arif. She couldn't live knowing that there's a book that has a strong story behind it without reading it. After many months of trying to find the real copy of this book, she heard about an old man that lives in Jordan that had an ancient copy of Shams al-Ma'arif. She got in touch with him, and he refused to sell the book, but she didn't quit. It took her many weeks to finally buy the book off of him. She goes back home and immediately starts reading the book. After she read the first few chapters of the book, she felt kind of hungry, so she decided to go to the kitchen and prepare some food and then continue reading. As she goes into the kitchen, she opens the oven and a gale of fire burns her face. She spent 3 weeks in the burn unit rehabilitation. The oven was switched off. No one knows till this day where the flames came from. She had multiple plastic surgeries to recover her facial features, but till this day, her face is not what it used to be. After recovery, she goes home weeks later and she looks for the book, knowing that the jinn was the reason she was harmed. She tried to find the book for many days, but it was lost. Years go by. She was home watching TV one day. She came across an Islamic channel that had a live interview program. An old man was being interviewed on this channel. He was asked by the imams about the dangers of a black magic book that he owns. His body was very unusual and his face was burned off. He got a book from under the table and he said this: "I once sold this book to a young woman a long time ago, and the demons warned me not to stop my rituals, and if I gave the book away, they would burn my face and they would burn hers. And after I gave the book, I woke up the next day without my normal face. And the book I sold to that woman was right there laying next to me on bed. I knew that it was the jinns that brought the book back to me. And this is when I strengthened my iman and I quit black magic." Quote, this was all said on TV, and the poor girl was just standing there, watching the same man speak. The man on TV was the man that gave her the book. The book he showed on TV was the book he handed to her. That was the book that was lost. The book that she was looking for.
Damn, it sounded like she got tempted by that knowledge. She just couldn't turn it down. Look what happened. Like some bad spirits was following her. Like the book, the part I'm trying to figure out is how the book, like it just went back to the man's house. Did he take it back, or was it just there the next day? That's something to think about.
This is Tragedy by the Sea, one of the most disturbing and sad photos of all time. Okay, so first glance at this photo, you just think it's a couple arguing at the beach, right? But believe it or not, this photo might have the most unsettling and disturbing backstory ever. On the morning of April 2nd, 1954, a Los Angeles Times photographer named John Gaunt, who was pictured in the middle of this photo, was relaxing on his front yard of his beachfront house when he heard a neighbor shout, "Something's happening on the beach." He then instinctively grabbed his camera and rushed over to see the horrified couple clutching each other on the beach. On the shore stood a young couple named Mr. and Mrs. McDonald, and their body language made John's stomach turn. He realized that someone must be lost, and he then took a photograph from 200 yards away. Only then did he learn that just moments before, the couple's 19-month-old son Michael, who had been playing in the yard, had wandered down to the beach and crawled into the violent waters while they weren't looking. Despite the back and forth efforts by the parents, there was nothing they can do but just wait. Unfortunately, later that day, the child's dead body was washed up about a mile away on the beach. And this photo, titled "Tragedy by the Sea," appeared on the front page of the Times the very next day. John Gaunt then won the 1955 Pulitzer Prize Award, calling the photo poignant and profoundly moving. But he also received heavy criticism for capitalizing on the family's tragedy for his photo opportunity. But now, take a look at this photo, knowing everything you do, and tell me it's not one of the saddest and most disturbing photos ever.
Let's talk about this picture. Captured in 2008 by Daniel Young, this is one of the only pieces of evidence that this encounter actually happened. So Daniel was a custodian at Myrtle Elementary School where he worked the night shift. It's a pretty routine night. He's just listening to music when he's suddenly interrupted by the sound of a woman's laughter. He turned around and was terrified when he saw an unknown woman smiling from behind the corner. This was a locked school on after hours, so clearly she was an adult who broke in, so he tried to snap a picture to identify her and then chases after her. But when he turned the corner, she had already darted out of an emergency exit. Later that night, police are called to a home where they arrive at a tragedy. Unknown woman had broken into a nearby home where she knifed two parents, one who was the principal of this school, so brutally they were unrecognizable. One of the daughters who witnessed this woman before she got away described her as this person. Could this photo be of the same unknown woman? And what her connection is to the school and the principal, we don't know.
Most disturbing videos in the world. Episode 6. This picture contains a list of disturbing videos from the least scary to the most. This will be my scariest series ever. Welcome to Tier 7 because we skipped a couple of them. And honestly today we're going to skip directly to Tier 10. The first video is titled Funky Town. This video single-handedly could be the worst video the internet has ever had. Now obviously I can't show the video here, but I can tell you everything you need to know about it. And please remember, don't look this up. Trust me. It shows a man, getting executed, in which they remove the man's face all while he's still alive. And lots of other stuff start happening. And in the background of the video, the song Funky Town starts playing. You know this song? Yeah, that one. Make sure to like and follow because I start my brand new series tomorrow.
Those videos, man, where they always have to like break it down and explain. It's always chilling, man, and I take them at their word. I never looked it up because I don't need that in my mind. But the way they break it down with the details, especially about Sebastian on Tank 22, we know, man. Crazy how people can even do that to another human being. Edit, man. You guys, I want to see y'all guys call out the edits, man, down below as well. If y'all guys can spot them out, because I might miss some too. Y'all can correct me, man. We all a community, yo.
This is the disturbing moment. This woman laughed in court after she took this 3-year-old's life in a random attack. On June 3rd, police received numerous phone calls about a stabbing at a grocery store parking lot in Ohio. At around 3 p.m. on this day, 38-year-old Margot Wood was loading groceries into her car while her 3-year-old son, Julian, sat in his car seat. That's when 32-year-old Bianca Ellis entered the car and began stabbing the little boy. When Margot noticed, she tried to stop the attacker, and as a result, she was also wounded. Julian was then rushed to the hospital where he unfortunately passed away. Now, what's disturbing was that this was a random attack, and after looking at surveillance footage, the attacker was seen following the mother and the child in and out of the grocery store. Then, when Bianca was brought into court, the judge began reading out the indictment, and she was seen smiling and laughing the entire time. And after an assessment was done on Bianca, they're arguing that she has bipolar disorder and had a psychotic break, which explains why she did what she did. And this story only gets crazier. Before this incident, Bianca confessed to another murder in Bakersfield, and she even gave details of what she did with this person's body. She also warned officers that if she wasn't arrested, she was going to murder someone and eat their flesh. But none of this was taken too serious, and she was released from the mental institution, and not long after, she committed this heinous crime.
So, let's talk about the most disturbing animated film ever made that has been banned all over the world. 1992's Midori. Our main character is 12-year-old Midori. After her mother becomes extremely ill, she is tricked into joining a traveling circus. And these are some of the fine people that she is surrounded by every day. The film contains a lot of very explicit scenes of violence and other things towards young Midori. The film is also known for its animal content. When it was originally released, Midori was banned all over the world, including in its own home country of Japan. And I can definitely see why. I'm not kidding when I say this is probably the most graphic, strange, animated film that has probably ever been made. And this is most certainly not a film for a lot of people. It's a film I really don't feel like I can recommend, but there are lots of very interesting discussions around the morality of this film. And if you've seen this film, I'd love to know what you guys think of it.
Hell no, I didn't even know that film existed. It really was banned. All of them. It's always people in those positions, man. Power.
Number 10 is Saddam Hussein. We all remember Saddam. Number 9, Kim Jong-il, who is the uncle and the former leader of Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and he was even worse than Kim Jong-un. Like, even though Kim Jong-un is bad, like we got a step up from Kim Jong-il. I remember reading that he once fed his family to dogs. Number 8 is Genghis Khan, the guy, the Mongolia Chinese wall, the Great Wall of China, forced everybody to do that.
Ooh.
Number 7, Heinrich Himmler, one of the right-hand men in the Nazi Party, was just all around evil. Number 6, Pol Pot, terrible man, maybe was one of the most ruthless killers in history. Number 5, Mao Zedong, the terrible emperor of China. Number 4, Osama bin Laden, the fool who committed 9/11 and went in hiding, and then we all forgot about him until Obama was like, we're actually going to go get him now, and I was like, thank God. Number 3, Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler is the basis for the character of Dracula. His middle name was Dragula, and he was known for impaling his victims on sticks and posing them in front of the castle. Number 2, Joseph Stalin, who was the leader of Russia during World War II, and he was basically one of the most ruthless killers as well. He had concentration camps for the Russians that didn't support him, and millions of people died under him. If you like this list and want more lists about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the most evil person in history in your book. Also follow my Instagram and fiance Samantha, who I've tagged. Number 1, I can't even say his name on TikTok, but we all know who it is. Evil Austrian mustache man.
Think twice before you answer the door on Halloween night. On Halloween night in 1984, a pregnant mom named Doreen Herbert heard the doorbell ring. She opened the door to find someone in a wolf mask holding a machete. This was like a scene straight out of a horror movie, and she was viciously slaughtered in front of her 4-year-old daughter. Special attention had been made to harm the fetus as well, and it was found under this chair. Luckily, when the attack started, her daughter hid behind the couch, and then the man in the wolf mask paced around the house looking for her. The man in the mask shouted that if she said anything, he was going to come back and kill her too. Crime scene investigators noticed a trail of blood leading from the house down the sidewalk and across the freeway to a nearby neighborhood. This attack happened shortly after her husband left to go to the store, and he came home just a few minutes after she died. But luckily, officers did their due diligence. Looking into Doreen's past, they found out she had a tumultuous marriage with her ex-husband, Michael Dennis. And they actually had a child that drowned under Doreen's supervision in 1980. 2 years later, this distraught ex sued Doreen for the death of their child but lost in court. And just hours after the murder, the police paid a visit to Michael Dennis. He was calm and collected and gave consent to search, but as he reached out to sign the form, they noticed a gash on his hand. He said he got this injury from carving pumpkins the day before, but they noticed that the blood was still clotting. He began to walk detectives up towards his bedroom and lunged towards the bed. And they were luckily able to tackle him before he grabbed his revolver. And also inside the house, they found blood near the washing machine, and blood was all over his car door handle and steering wheel.
Caught him.
His past girlfriend also said that the previous Halloween, he went to a party wearing a wolf mask, pictured here. Michael Dennis was charged for the death of Doreen and her unborn child. And due to the brutality, he was actually given the death penalty. Michael Dennis had never moved on and hated Doreen for finding love and having another. And I have to say, if you've lost a child, Halloween is probably a really difficult day to look outside and see kids running around everywhere. But that does not excuse his actions. Let me know what case you want me to cover next and follow for more true crime.
It is wild. This is actually happening. Celebrities are now losing thousands of followers in an unprecedented TikTok trend where people are deliberately blocking the rich and famous so that they lose their sponsorships, their brand deals, and ultimately money. And you know what? It's working. So here's how the blockout trend started, and more interestingly, why. This is Hailey Bailey. She's a model and a content creator, and she doesn't know it yet, but she's about to trigger a massive digital revolution against the world's celebrities and herself, all with one video.
Let them eat cake.
But to understand why what she did here caused so much outrage, we need to go back to the 1800s. I'm not even joking, the Queen of France in 1774 has somehow triggered a massive revolution on TikTok in 2024. Marie Antoinette was actually the last queen before the French Revolution, because at a time where the country was in extreme debt and the people were living in poverty and famine, Marie was seen living a lavish lifestyle and spending huge amounts of money on unnecessary things. For example, she was best known for her extreme looks and love for fashion. Her annual clothing budget alone was equivalent to today's $3.6 million. That's $300K a month. But ironically, what she is most remembered for is the time that she was told that the public were starving and they didn't have enough bread to eat, to which she replied, "Let them eat cake." And I say it's ironic because it's believed that she never actually even said this. Regardless, the public's anger grew and led to a revolution and ultimately her execution. So back to 2024 when Hailey Bailey dressed up as Marie Antoinette and used a trending sound saying, "Let them eat cake," while outside the Met Gala, where tickets cost more than the average down payment for a house. She quickly became the modern Marie Antoinette and triggered the blockout revolution. Now, since then, she has apologized and said she didn't know the implications of that quote before she used it. And while the anger started with just her video, with one of the top comments saying, "We're giving you the Marie Antoinette experience," it quickly grew to all of the celebrities that attended that event and beyond. The Hunger Games societal disparity became the movement theme, with hundreds of people commenting, watching from District 12. Creators started making videos showing off their own daily celebrity block lists, and the people who joined the trend say that the movement is simple. Just like how the French people's taxes were funding Antoinette's lavish lifestyle while they starved, today the public's attention is often what funds these celebrities' lifestyles. And so people say if they're using this attention money similar to Antoinette on massive unnecessary displays of wealth, or while people around the world struggle and starve, that attention and therefore money will be removed. And that's how and why the block trend started. So the question is, do you agree with this trend, or are people taking it way too
Pictures that show the power of time. These teddies were bought at the same time 30 years ago, but one of them was given to a kid and the other was kept in a storage. And this is what happens when you don't clean a building for 50 plus years. I actually didn't know they were supposed to be white. Here's what penises looked like 80 years ago versus now. I wonder if they still accept the old ones. What do you guys think? And here's the size difference between 100 used bills versus new ones. Pretty neat.
Imagine accidentally knocking on the wrong door and then being murdered because of it. Well, that's what happened to 56-year-old Maria Couto after visiting a client at an apartment building in Westchester. Maria was a caseworker for the county's Department of Social Services and was conducting home visits when she accidentally knocked on 31-year-old Hasim Jenkins' front door. When he answered the door, instead of directing Maria to the correct apartment, he punched her in the face. Maria tried running from him, but he chased her into a neighbor's apartment and he continued to kick her in the head with a pair of heavy boots. Somehow, while this was all going on, she managed to call 911, but when police arrived, Hasim claimed that Maria tried to stab him and that's why he beat her. But that never happened. She only knocked on his door because she thought that was her client's home. This poor lady suffered severe brain bleeding, brain swelling, and multiple facial fractures. She was placed on a ventilator, but unfortunately, she passed away a month later. When Hasim was arrested, Maria's phone was found in his pocket, and now he's facing a long list of charges, including second-degree murder. And something her family said, which is so sad, is that this all happened the year before Maria planned to retire.
Test your phobia. Thalassophobia.
Very deep water. Let's try it. I've never been scared of water like my whole life. I ain't doing that. Number 3, you got it. Can't really see anything. It's pitch black. Yeah, that ain't for me. Dude. I don't know how people get on boats like that, bro. Those raging waters.
Most secret places you are not allowed to visit. The Elephant's Foot, Chernobyl. A deadly mass of radioactive lava beneath Reactor 4. Just standing near it 4 minutes could mean certain death. Even now, decades after the Chernobyl disaster, it still emits dangerous levels of gamma radiations. It's expected to remain hazardous for thousands of years. Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Norway. This high-security vault was built to preserve humanity's food supply in case of global catastrophe. It's sealed tight, only opened during true crisis.
What crisis? What are they planning for, man? I guess my brain's spinning, bro. I want to be prepared.
From different countries. Japan. Kachusik Ono. Spain. Santakon Pano. Thailand. Mae Nak. United Kingdom. Bloody Mary. Nepal. Yeti.
Heard about that before.
Pakistan. Pitchell Period. Mexico. La Llorona. India. Pishacha.
Okay guys, breaking news. It's actually happening. So every adult in the UK will now be required to have a new government-issued digital ID. Why, you may ask? Well, apparently immigration is the reason. So this announcement is supposed to be made official tomorrow by Keir Starmer, and anyone starting a new job in the UK will be soon required to present that digital ID. Now this is all because it's said to be helping illegal immigration, because those digital IDs would then be automatically checked against a central database that will see if you are legally allowed to work in the UK or not. Now, it probably should be noted that this has been a talking point in the UK for many years, but no government before has done this, one, because of massive public hesitancy around digital IDs, but also because of the big questions of whether this would even help the problem it's intended to help in the first place. There's also a lot of other concerns about privacy, about civil liberties, about potential cyber attacks, having access to all of that data. And then also the big question is that if it doesn't have the intended effect that it does, so it doesn't drop that UK small boat crisis, then will it be abolished? Will it be taken away? And if not, then why? So let me know what you guys think. Are you a fan of digital IDs or not?
Have you heard about this supernatural phenomenon that sometimes happens to people in really bad car wrecks? Well, apparently multiple people who have been in horrible car accidents have reported seeing the same strange thing. It's called the third man syndrome, and it's when a supernatural presence offers comfort to a victim during a survival situation. I'm going to share one of the crazy stories with you now, but if you're interested in this, tonight's episode is going to be all of these stories. So a few years ago, a Reddit user was in a horrible car wreck. Like so bad they cut the car door off to get them out. They black out during the accident, but as they come to, they see a woman open their car door and get into the back seat. And the woman put her hand on the driver's shoulder and told him that it was going to be okay, and then she said that help was on the way. The user then blacked out again and came to with a fireman cutting off the door of the car. Afterwards, they're with it enough to talk to the police officers and the firemen on the scene, and they're telling them, like, hey, there was this woman that got in the car with me, is she okay? And everyone is like, there was no one in the car with you. Apparently no cars passing by had even stopped for the accident because the fire department was so close, so it was super unlikely that anyone had gotten in the car with them. But this is not the only time that that's happened. Other people have reported a woman getting into the car with them after an accident. There's so many other supernatural stories just like this that I explore in the episode tonight, so make sure you're following along.
Speaking of violence, I mean, for Des Freeman, is this going to end, in your opinion, in any way other than in a violent confrontation?
If people are assisting him, I'm sure there's also people saying, give up, just hand yourself in. But they're probably not willing to do that themselves, hand him in. He may decide to hand himself in himself, or he's just going to fight to the end and wait till he's discovered. With the current situation, I think it's going to end badly, the way it's going, or he's no longer with us. The best thing for him to do is surrender and come out and just face the music. Just have the whole thing end.
Badasses of History, Part 4. After having his leg amputated due to cancer, 21-year-old Terry Fox started running across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every day he ran a full marathon for 143 straight days until his cancer forced him to stop. He ran a total of 3,338 miles, and his fundraiser has helped raise more than $600 million to date.
Legend.
In 1883, the body of Frank Devereaux and a bear were found dead beside each other, with the ground around them thrashed for 20 square feet. It's believed that the man and the bear fought to the death. American pilot Thomas Fitzpatrick once drunkenly stole an airplane from New Jersey and landed it in front of a bar in Manhattan to continue drinking. 2 years later, someone at the bar didn't believe his story, so he went and did it again. During World War II, American Private Edward Arns was found clutching a sword surrounded by 13 dead Japanese soldiers. Barely hanging on to life, his last words were, "I guess they didn't know I was a Marine."
3 Minecraft facts that you probably didn't know. Did you know that the Enderman's language is just English played backwards? And did you know that Minecraft was originally called the Cave Game? And lastly, a school in Sweden makes their kids play Minecraft every single day. Make sure you share this message and follow for more.
I've had to call a cop on that Sweden, in fact. The school makes them play Minecraft every single day. You know, the kids will love for that to happen to them, man.
Tastrophobia. Trypophobia.
Trypophobia? I'm cool. Bread?
So I was looking at buildings today are even able to do this.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 43. One of the reasons refrigerators are magnetic is because back during the early 1900s, children used to get stuck inside of these when they were playing hide-and-go-seek, and they would actually suffocate and die. There's actually a condition known as arachnodactyly, and it makes your fingers and your toes appear abnormally long in comparison to your palm and to your foot. It can appear at birth or later on during life. So don't think you're safe just yet. There's a chance that you could experience internal bleeding, but you may not even know it's going on until it's too late. Oh yeah, I didn't know if you knew this or not, but actually when you die, they drain your body of all the blood. They put a tube through your jugular, it goes down a table, and then it empties out into like a sink or a toilet. Yeah, and then it's just replaced with formaldehyde.
I did not know that.
Top 3 most dangerous places in the world. At number 3, Lake Natron. This lake here in Tanzania, Africa is that dangerous, it's not even funny. The pH levels and temperatures are that high that if you went to swim in it, it would pretty much burn off your skin. It's the equivalent to a lake of acid, and some say if hell had a lake, this would be it. And you won't believe it, there is one animal that can survive here. Yeah, these orange gangsters, flamingos. At number 2, Snake Island. Just off the coast of Brazil, this island is infested with millions and millions of snakes. If you went here, you would see up to 5 new snakes every single step you take. Oh yeah, they're all venomous and extremely dangerous. And at number 1, this house here. If you don't already know, this is 10 Downing Street, the home of this lunatic Boris Johnson, who is planning on keeping the UK in lockdown until the year 2085.
People are saying their favorite celebrities are hanging out with a witch. As you can see, this woman is pretty friendly with a lot of celebrities. A$AP Rocky, Kim Kardashian, Kanye, even the Migos. But why are they so deeply connected with this woman? Her name is Michelle Levy, and it says she's a fashion designer, film producer, etc. But she's also married to Rick Owens, who is known as the Dark Lord of fashion. Look, here she is even wearing his head as a purse. Oh, and she's very close to Marina Abramovich, whose art is a little demonic. I mean, she once threw a party with a human-shaped cake. I kid you not. Look at this. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this just a connection for fashion, or is there something more darker going on? And make sure you guys hit that follow button, because my next video will blow your mind.
One of the most famous leading ladies of all time, Anne Hathaway, has lived before, and she is the reincarnation of one of the most famous leading ladies of the past. There's a massive conspiracy theory that Anne Hathaway's husband, Adam, is the reincarnation of the most famous playwright of all time, William Shakespeare. Because look at how much they look alike. It's very suspicious. And if anyone had the Illuminati power to reincarnate themselves, it's the most famous man of his time. And guess what Shakespeare's wife was named? Anne Hathaway. And this is what she looked like. Look familiar to another Anne Hathaway we know. And here they are all together. The theory goes that they wanted to reincarnate so they can come back and the wife could be famous in this lifetime, maybe so she can act, because women weren't allowed to act in the 1500s. And Anne is very known for her poised, proper, almost old-fashioned way of talking and behaving that rubs some people the wrong way, but maybe it's because she's from a different time. Before I show you the most eerie part of all this, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theory about each of these celebrities and request who you want to see next. Anne Hathaway was born on the exact day, to the date, of Shakespeare and Anne's 400th wedding anniversary. To the date.
I mean, the pictures when they put them side to side, at first I was kind of skeptical, but they were kind of looking alike. And the fact that she was born on her wedding anniversary, I mean, we all know it could just be one big coincidence, but the way it was lighted up, man. What do you think?
So today we're going to take a look at the world's most unexplained thing. I was born with 3 holes in my heart and mutated valves. The top comment is, "Hey brother, welcome back." When I was little, I had imaginary friends named Docho and Dimka. Decided to do my ancestry, they were actually my great-great-grandparents. friends. I don't know about y'all, but if my child ever said they had imaginary friends, I don't play that game. My dad passed away unexpectedly when I was 22. We started seeing his face in random places, like in this photo of a curry plant. This was only a few days after he passed away in this exact room. Showed my dad this goofy picture my friend took of me. He then showed me this picture of my grandmother and his mother who passed away. I have never seen this picture of her before. Bro, I'm telling y'all, reincarnation's gotta be real. The top comment is, no one cares, Tori. You ran through in an alcoholic. Your grandmother looks respectable, though. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here.
That's crazy to say. The blue.
You can tell how clean someone is by their kitchen or their bathroom. You can tell how neat someone is by their living room. You can tell someone's personality by their bedroom. You can tell how organized someone is by the inside of their car. You can tell how healthy someone is by their fridge and their pantry. You can tell someone's self-esteem by the way they show up. You can tell how busy someone is by how they listen. You can tell someone's dedication by their body. You can tell how stressed someone is by the attention that they give. You can tell how respected someone is by the way other people treat them. You can tell how respectful someone is by the way they treat other people. You can tell how healed someone is by their playlist. You can also tell how toxic someone is by their playlist. You can tell how real someone is by their responses. You can tell how comfortable someone is by their posture. You can tell someone's values by how they view other people. You can tell how dangerous someone is by their demeanor. You can tell how envied someone is by the way other people talk. You can also tell how hated someone is by the way other people talk. And you can tell how loved someone is by their family or friends.
The left side of the road is technically the right side to drive on. If you drive on the right, ironically, you've been doing it wrong. Because at first, the entire world rode on the left side, and for a very valid reason. Even way before cars were around, in the time of the Romans, with their horses and chariots, they always kept to the left. The reason being that most people's dominant hand was typically the right, as is still the case today, with only about 10% of the world being left-handed. This was to keep the arm they would hold their sword in free for potential combat and jousting with their neighboring traffic lane, which would have been their right hand attacking the left lane. And it was like this for hundreds of years, albeit with horses and carriages, not cars yet. But then someone came along and was all like, I don't like this. I want everyone to ride on the right from now on. And so he fully changed the rules of road travel because he was left-handed and preferred to ride on the right side so that his left sword hand could be free. That person was Napoleon Bonaparte, that French guy who took over Europe, so that he and anyone who was left-handed could have an advantage in combat during their travels. Some historians will tell you that he wasn't actually left-handed, that Napoleon was just keen on changing centuries-long traditions for the sake of creating a new society, the whole purpose behind his revolution. Either way, he is the one that brought right-hand driving into every place he conquered, which continued into our modern civilized world. Only the United Kingdom, being the French's eternal arch-nemesis, refused to adopt the right-side road travel, which is why even today, they and many other countries which were once British colonies or just influenced by British culture still drive on the left, and the rest of us drive on the right, because this guy here said so. Disclaimer, please follow the correct driving laws in your country. Don't drive wrong just because you think you're right.
Yo, what's up? Here's some facts that you probably didn't know about the world's most notorious serial killers. During his killing spree, Jeffrey Dahmer had so many dead bodies in his apartment that he ended up having to store one in his bathtub. But not only that, he continued to shower over this corpse that was in his bathtub for about a month or so. Just want you to think about that for a second. After being placed behind bars, David Berkowitz, otherwise known as the Son of Sam, claimed that he was saved by Jesus and basically counseled and preached while he was in prison. Now, I don't know how you go from killing around 6 people to becoming a preacher, but hey, what do I know? Richard Chase, otherwise known as the Vampire of Sacramento, basically took unlocked doors as an invitation to come in and kill. And if your doors were locked, well, he would just walk off and try another house. Please keep your doors locked. Serial killer Durango Vargas confessed to killing and eating over 10 people, but he claimed that he wouldn't eat fat people because they were too high in cholesterol.
What? He's sick in the head. All of them were.
She lost her life because she mispronounced a word. Lydia Charity Schatz was born on March 15th of 2002 and was originally from Liberia. Kevin and Elizabeth Schatz lived in Paradise, California with their 6 biological children. The couple decided they wanted to add more to their family, so they headed to Liberia to adopt 3 children, including Lydia. But Lydia and her 2 siblings thought were going to be a loving home was the complete opposite. On February 5th of 2010, Lydia was harmed so badly with a 1/4-inch plastic tube just because she mispronounced a word. Kevin and Elizabeth held Lydia down for 9 hours and harmed her so badly on her back that it caused severe tissue damage. That following day, Lydia passed away in the hospital. Lydia's 11-year-old sister Zariah was also harmed by Kevin and Elizabeth because allegedly she was a bad influence and a liar. She was hospitalized in critical condition but fortunately survived. When Kevin and Elizabeth were being investigated, they stated that they used a child discipline teachings by a fundamentalist Christian organization. Investigators discovered that Elizabeth and Kevin were doing this to their biological children as well, and were even teaching their oldest daughter to join in on doing this to her siblings. In court, Kevin was found guilty and sentenced to a minimum of 22 years, and Elizabeth was also found guilty and sentenced to 13 years in prison.
The ancient Romans had a bone to pick. This solid silver ancient Roman amulet was sold at an auction, and try to take a guess as to what it was used for. It's only 3 centimeters tall, depicting a grotesque head with exaggerated features dating back to around the 1st to 2nd century AD, part of a private collection called the Esteemed European Collection. And it has this long, prominent nose, high cheeks, and a massive forehead, but what does it all mean? Well, grotesque features were traditionally used in amulets during the time of the Romans as a way to ward off evil, to keep the bearer protected, and serve as symbolic reminders of the separation between our earthly realm and the divine. And I guess, lucky buyer scored this one right here for £3,200, about $4,300, so I hope it was worth it.
So I've gotten asked like 3 times this week if I think that Paul Walker actually faked his death and he's still alive out there. Now, up until this week, I had never heard this theory, and I was like, I don't know. So then I looked into it, and here's what I found out. Now, we all know that Paul Walker was like a big car guy, like a big car enthusiast. That's probably how he got involved with the Fast and the Furious franchise to begin with. But that love of cars was actually his real life personality. He loved really cool cars. So some people thought it was a little bit coincidental or ironic or strange that he actually died in a cool car. One of the things that's a little bit weird about this is he was with his friend Roger, and Roger was a professional driver, racer type of person. So Roger would have been super experienced when it comes to driving really fast cars, and it seems a little bit strange and unlikely that, he would end up, dying when he had all this experience driving these really crazy cars. With that being said, though, I feel we've heard of instances of, even NASCAR drivers dying in crashes and stuff like that. So that part in and of itself isn't all that strange. But here's where things do get a little bit weird. This is the car that, both of these guys actually ended up passing away in. Let's take note of the license plate. It's 7CCY590. But the license plate that was at the crash site is 3URS93. So why are the license plates different? Did they get swapped out at some point? Because everybody saw him leave with the car with the original license plate, and then all of a sudden this one was at the site. So did the cars get switched? What's going on? This part's a little bit strange. And the other thing that's kind of weird is the story I found out actually leaked before he actually died. So he wasn't even dead yet, and there were all these news outlets already posting about how Paul Walker died in a car accident. So it's almost as if these news outlets already had this information and accidentally released it a little bit early. I had never heard that part before, but that part really got me because that's happened with other celebrity death kind of situations too, where the news accidentally leaks before it actually happens, and so it's what's going on here? So now I'm starting to understand why people are speculating about this, because it seems there's just a lot of things that don't add up that are just a little bit too strange. Any of these things by themselves, other than the news leaking too early, would have been okay, I mean, it could happen, but I feel everything put together, it does make for kind of a suspicious situation. But here's the part I really don't understand. A lot of the other celebrity deaths that people speculate might have been faked. There's a very good reason why they might do such a thing. With Paul Walker, I'm having a really hard time finding a motive of what would make him, want or need to fake his own death. He was a pretty big celebrity, but I don't feel he was at mega star status to where he couldn't even live or do anything. I don't know, and I also don't think he was in any trouble that I know of. So if you know of a reason why Paul Walker might have wanted to fake his own death, put it in the comments. Or is there a chance that maybe the death wasn't faked, but maybe it was planned? If so, why?
This whole celebrity idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That shit was sold to us, y'all. You got people out here that are human, that are acting every day of their life. They're not even real. They just on NPC shit. Every day they acting. They don't even know the world is a stage, dog. And it's a lot of terrible actors. It's a lot of terrible actors out here. The world is a stage. There's a lot of terrible fucking actors, dog. And then I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it, dog. I'm just gonna say it. I tried to tell Spice beforehand I said it, but the whole idea of celebrity, bro, if you're not a real person and you can't stand on your morals and principles out here, move out the way. If you can't stand on any principles and morals out here as a person that's trying to see this world become better, move out the way for the time being. I'm not paying attention to all the, the beefs going on or, who.
So scientists just proved that smiling is a universal language after they see grass cells smiling under the microscope when it rains. And not only under the microscope, people have also seen their plants from their gardens smiling. I don't know about y'all, but I need my food to have a smile on it too. And the craziest thing is, I'm not even surprised. This is what the creator, God, left the blueprint, putting a signature on it. Designed the code for happiness to be a smile. Even see our pets like cats and dogs. If you got them, you know that they smile when they happy. For the people who skeptical, why does this look like a smiley face? It could have been any other geometrical shape, but it's a smiley face. Because obviously the plant is happy that it's getting water. There are literally dozens of Bible verses that tell you to be happy. Like a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up bones. Remember, God didn't give us a spirit to be sad and depressed. He told us to be happy. Even the plants know it. I'll let me know y'all thoughts on what y'all think about plants smiling under the microscope in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. If you want to learn how to put a smile on your face because your content is making you money, comment down below hub and I'm sending resources in your DMs. Smile, nigga.
Smile.
I don't know who she playing with, but it's an invisible person, and they're tickling her.
Imaginary friend, maybe?
Stop. And I pray so much, it can't be no bad spirit in here. So I pray so much over this house.
Hey. You play with your granny? You play with your granny?
Her granny?
You play with your granny?
She is really interacting. Oh my goodness.
This artwork that was found in Jeffrey Epstein's house is incredibly disturbing. So this was actually in Epstein's mansion in New York City, and as you can see, this is a sculpture of a bronze bride hanging by a rope. All this is coming from the New York Times, and immediately when I viewed this sculpture, I was just overcome with a sense of dread. Clearly you can see that she does not look happy, and she almost looks like she's trying to escape something. Also inside of the mansion, Epstein had photos of he and Ghislaine with Pope John Paul II, Mick Jagger, Elon Musk, Fidel Castro, Richard Branson from Virgin Airlines, President Bill Clinton, which, let me just tell you, this picture is so eerie. And even a signed dollar bill gifted to Epstein by Bill Gates. Now, there were also photos of Epstein with Saudi officials like Mohammed bin Salman. And in the office, Epstein had a green first edition of Lolita, the 1955 novel, in which an intellectual develops a sexual obsession with a 12-year-old girl, which obviously provides evidence for the blackmail thing. I mean, you can clearly see these cameras mounted in rooms that in a normal house would not be there.
When the elite fully take over,
crazy.
This is what the future is going to look like. Listen.
The year is 2067. Nobody can afford to move out anymore, so you live with your kids and your kids' kids in your $14,000 a month, 800 square foot, 3-bedroom apartment that's owned by BlackRock. Right? You just got back from a long day of working at your government-mandated filming of Beast Games on Amazon Prime, sponsored by Palantir. That's how you afford your groceries at your local Lockheed Martin supermarket. You're still 20 years away from retiring. Eggs are $32 and the federal minimum wage is $10. There's a Tesla microchip planted in your head that you need to be able to vote, but you can only afford the basic monthly subscription, so you still get Papa John's commercials pumped directly into your eyeball every hour on the hour. Shaq is still the face of the company. They used AI to download his subconscious and repurpose it for commercial use, so they own the rights to him. Technically, you're leaving tonight to go on a camping trip for the one day you get off every week. The national park closest to you was bought out by Microsoft decades ago, so your ticket to entry is part of a Microsoft Suites package. Don't worry, teams can still reach you out there. You better leave soon. It's going to take 5 hours to get there. There's citywide gridlock and no public transport in every single major city across the U.S. For the working class, at least, the top 1% get the private jet and helicopter everywhere because they don't want to sit in the traffic. It's 124 degrees out. The ozone layer doesn't exist anymore, and neither do bees or glaciers. Florida's underwater. We're still at war in the Middle East, but don't worry. Starbucks just came out with some new summer refreshers. OnlyFans Orange and Prize Picks Peach. They're 176 grams of sugar, and vegetables are only for the mega wealthy. But you're on Ozempic, so you can sip on 3 of them while you doom scroll AI-generated content and slip into extinction.
Here's a theory.
That's scary, bro. Imagine if that's actually the future, man. It sounds horrible, bro. Everything's freaking overpriced. The elite have everything, have all the access to all the resources, but the working class still struggling. I don't like that.
That the Hoover Dam is secretly a demonic throne and that the government put angels there to cover it up. When you go to the Hoover Dam, you're gonna see something really odd. There's a spot that has 2 giant winged statues made out of bronze. They look like angels, right? They are technically called the winged figures of the Republic, but this is the weird part. No one officially says what they are. They're not angels, they're not demons, they're figures. And that's not random. There's actually a floor underneath them that is a cosmic map. It shows the exact alignment of the stars the day that the dam was completed. Like they wanted like aliens or gods to find this later. You'd think it's just some like artsy little design, right? But the guy who made that design said that this is specifically supposed to last for thousands of years. Like that design was supposed to outlive our civilization. And this is where it gets a little darker. People also call this place the throne of the devil. But why would a dam need a cosmic star map and then 2 20, 30-foot bronze guardians? And then all of these like occult looking type symbols. Well, get this. So over 100 workers died while building the dam. And some people do believe that their bodies were sealed into the concrete and that they were considered to be sacrifices to bless the sculpture. And then on top of all of this, the location of these statues don't really make any sense. Like, why would they have these big designs at a power plant? And if you're religious, you also have to remember Satan was originally an angel. Another crazy thing to note is that the Hoover Dam has been featured in dozens of end-of-the-world movies, disaster scenes, and games. It has always been the center of destruction and secret technology. And then it's like, is that a coincidence, or is it programming for us to see it as the key to something? Even the name Hoover comes from a president who was involved in major US power shifts, literal power and electricity. And this makes you wonder if the government is trying to hide in plain sight. Massive monuments with spiritual symbolism built into them. Government approved, celebrated, protected, and most of us never even question it. So when you pass by and you take a little selfie, you don't even realize you are standing on what some call a throne. But the question remains, a throne for who exactly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more.
I don't know about you, but myself, in my lifetime, I don't recall ever seeing so many wildfires, floods, earthquakes, and everything else in 1 year. It just seems more and more consistent with biblical times. Currently, there are multiple wildfires taking place in the state of California in the United States.
Again?
Take a look at this video. Take a look at this. These fires have currently burned over 70,000 acres at a time. Just look at this.
Scary sight.
So far, close to 4,000 people have been evacuated due to these out-of-control wildfires in California. And the sad news is, so far to date, 14 people have passed away due to these fires. The scary part is, as of right now, these fires are zero contained. We are very grateful for the men and women on the front line fighting these fires. So my question to you is, why are they having fires again? What is causing all of this to continue again and again in the state of California and around the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I said it before. What the f is going on with Jenna Ortega, y'all? When I did a video on this last time, people was like, oh, you tripping. Now people see what I'm talking about. Like I said before, her whole facial features is different. Her whole facial structure is different. Point in case. Look at it, y'all. Look at the major difference. And one thing I really want y'all to pay attention to is look at her eyes.
Okay.
You can see that they're way different now. These eyes look like she been through some shit. It look like that light is being dimmed. Look here. She look hella innocent, y'all. She look a little younger, but she look hella innocent. This one look like she finna morph into something, if you know what I'm talking about. Everything about this picture of Jenna Ortega looks crazy. And it's from my perspective. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. What do you think about this? Bam, boom.
Here's some...
See, because what do you guys think, man? We knew Jenna Ortega, like, she blew up after Wednesday and a couple other things she was in, but she just, like, skyrocketed, so... I mean, maybe, you know, when people get that level of fame, it changes people's perspective on things.
The creepiest videos on the internet, part 10. The popular American rapper XXXTentacion was murdered on June 18th, 2018, and his death broke the hearts of many. Many people visited his memorial to leave gifts, but some people captured much more. The YouTube channel The Fam recorded a video trying to communicate with this beloved rapper, but accidentally captured this. But someone else got a lot more than this. The YouTube channel Selva the Explorer got to speak with him through her spirit box. Here's some things he had to say.
What is your favorite song that you ever recorded? What's the name of your favorite song? Are you in the Wi-Fi? Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Australia has just made history after launching their first orbital rocket ever. And it lasted 14 seconds before brutally crashing. Well, at least it was a day for it. But it's not only the company behind it, Gilmore Space Technologies, considered it a massive success. Because not only is this the first ever Australian-made orbital rocket to be launched from their home country, but it was also the first launch of any orbital rocket from Australia in more than 50 years. And afterwards, the company shared a statement on their Facebook which had resounding support from men all around the world, and it said, "We hit every objective even with only 14 seconds of flight, and all in time to clock off before smoke off."
Oh, if you cheating, Instagram is not gonna let you cheat in peace. They're about to blow your shit up. I'm probably gonna be the first person to let you know this, so do not shoot the messenger. Instagram just did an update, and let me say this, I do not approve of this update. Look at this shit. They just made some shit called Maps in Instagram, and as you can see right here, you see that? When you click on that button, you can see everybody that you're following, any place that they are at. Oh, you ain't believe me, right? Look at this shit right here. You see my face right there? You see this right here? You see this right? All of those are posts from people that I'm either following or follow me, and I can look on that map and see exactly where they are. A lot of y'all are gonna be in a lot of bullshit with this new update. And then Instagram got the nerve to ask you to tell your friends about this so you can know their location. So the best thing you could do is you better turn that location off. Because if you tell somebody, I'm going to this place, and they look on this map and see that you was somewhere else, you're going to be in a lot of bullshit. And the shit get wicked, because if you zoom in and actually look, you can see exactly where a person is. That means a person's house, a person's car. You can see anywhere a person is at that moment. And you see my shit right there? You see it says not sharing, right? But if you look on that map and you zoom, you can see exactly where I'm at. That's not good. Instagram is about to get a lot of people on some bullshit. But you heard it here first. But like I said, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm out.
In a word, please turn off that sharing location apps on Instagram if you haven't, man. I did that as soon as I saw that. I was like, nope, we ain't doing that over here, man. Instagram trying to get people caught up, bro. People having your location? Nah.
World first, scientists have unlocked a new sense for computers, scent. Robots now know how to smell. Essentially, the teleportation of scent. We've already successfully digitized our senses of sight and sound by turning what we see into digital form, like JPEGs, what we hear into MP3s, and putting it all together into videos, like this one right here. Capturing our real-life visual and auditory senses and turning them into ones and zeros that computers can understand. That's what it means to digitize something. Big surprise, I'm not actually inside of your phone, but I've digitized an audio-visual representation of myself so that I can, in essence, teleport my appearance and my voice to devices like yours around the world. Osmo Labs adds a whole new dimension to how we communicate and interact with anything online by adding our sense of smell into the mix. The researchers took purple peaches, also known as a plum, mashed it up and captured its scent molecules inside of a vial. A machine then sucked the air out of this vial and used AI to analyze those molecules and map out its scent profile on a molecular level. Using this blueprint, they can print this scent anywhere in the world as a clear liquid that smells exactly like a plum. Officially giving computers a new sense and allowing us to teleport smells on top of images, video, and audio over the internet. And I think we can all see how things are going to end up when we can start smelling our messages in the group chat. Other than that, there are still some pretty mind-blowing applications for this. We'd be able to digitally store a library of our favorite scents that we can access at any time. The luxury fragrance industry would likely go out of business as we'd be able to perfectly clone every designer cologne and perfume that exists. Virtual reality would add an extra level of immersion into their worlds, bringing us one step closer to perfect simulations and fulfilling simulation theory. And above all, computers will now have a new sense that they're able to experience, letting us know how good or bad we smell, and combined with generative AI, we may even be able to create our very own sense from scratch with a couple of text prompts.
I don't know what's going on with the weather, but something bizarre is going on. It should not be this cool for August. You know, August is supposed to be the dog days of summer, right? So what is going on? Why is it so cool for August? And it's not just in my area where I live, it's in multiple locations. It's been cooler than usual. And July this year, at least in my area, felt like August weather. Like it was extremely hot in August. So what is really going on? It really feels as if something major is coming. Something major is happening. And I know I can't be the only one that feels like this. I know I can't be. I know there has to be others out there that feel like I do. What do you think about this? There's something weird going on. This is the
Any of you guys see his temperature, where you at the temperatures fluctuate? In July, man, I was having some heat waves, bro, so I don't know. August is kind of feeling like it's cooler, though. Something to keep in mind.
First driverless truck fully delivering supplies across the USA. This is going to take away millions of jobs from truckers. Kodiak Robotics just deployed the first fully autonomous freight trucks operating without safety drivers in West Texas, hauling sand through 100-degree heat and dust storms on 21-mile dirt roads. These trucks use 12 cameras, 4 LiDAR sensors, and 6 radar units to navigate completely on their own, while major companies like IKEA and Tyson Foods are already using them for daily freight deliveries. The most terrifying part? Kodiak can retrofit any existing truck into a driverless machine in under 6 months, meaning millions of trucking jobs could vanish overnight. 3.5 million truck drivers in America earn their living behind the wheel, but these autonomous trucks never need brakes, never demand raises, and never call in sick. By late 2026, Kodiak plans to have these driverless trucks operating on every major highway, completely replacing human drivers for long-haul freight. While you're worried about AI taking office jobs, robots are already stealing blue-collar work that millions of families depend on to survive. The trucking industry employs more Americans than any other profession, and artificial intelligence just made them all replaceable.
There's a woman that was caught selling tamales made of human meat. Bro, you're not gonna want to eat street food anymore. She would take homeless people, lost kids. Now, she had a stand and she was selling tamales. It was a huge hit. Everyone came to her stand. They loved her recipe. But then she started running out of meat because she ran out of money. You know, she wasn't well off. One day, she saw this little girl that was lost. She decided to that lost little girl to her home, bro. And then, you know what happened? What? Business started booming. How? Imagine not getting sick from the tamales? People started saying the recipe tasted so good, tasted a little bit sweet, and it was very unique. Crazy! What she ended up doing, she went on a spree and kidnapping over 50 people. Using their putting it in the food, bro. She was running this for a long time. So how did she get caught? Because there has to be a point where a man got sick and threw up. And she did get caught. Okay, so this is how she got caught. There was a gas leak in her building, and then they went to go inspect it. It wasn't a gas leak. It was the smell of rotten corpses.
I apologize for the jump scare, but the video at the end is way worse. This is Lucy, a giant fake Loch Ness monster that was actually put in Loch Ness to trick people. In 2005, a whole bunch of Scottish people, they decided to prank people in Loch Ness and make this giant 30-foot long, this is so disgusting for people with submechanophobia, aka myself, and yeah, this is disgusting. They made it in 2005 and they tricked people and they put this thing out there before sunrise. They put it in there at night. To scare people, and this is what it looks like. And at daytime, people were like, oh my god, the Loch Ness Monster is real, and it's not. It was just this monstrosity. Here's another photo of it underwater. That is disgusting. And I know the Loch Ness Monster isn't real, but like, would you consider it a dinosaur? Would you put it in the same category as a dinosaur? Because I'm definitely tagging this under dinosaur. And yeah, this is kind of what, like Nessie looks like. No. This is some guy that worked on it in the water with it, and that's how big it is in comparison, which it's 9 meters long, which is around 30 feet. It's disgusting. The full documentary about the building of it and the tricking of the people is actually on YouTube. It's about an hour long. It's called Loch Ness Monster, The Ultimate Experiment. It is fascinating. This is what bro looks like. Watch this video and let me know what you're thinking. And is this freaky or not?
I wonder how many people, man, they got with that. You know they got somebody with that, bro. It's too realistic. Just imagine seeing that, bro. See, you caught the Loch Ness Monster.
Weird that, the Gates family or Bill Gates owns a lot of the, land in North Dakota. I think that's weird. He owns the majority of the water in the United States. I think that's weird.
He does?
Whatever. Weird. It's to each his own. This is for informational purpose only. But at the same time, it's just like when you go to the grocery store and you see certain products that are on there that, they spray.
A 20-year-old gang member was dying of primary liver cancer. In his last days, hours, and moments, he was angry. The family called the hospice nurse into the room and told her that they thought he was going. He wasn't responding, his eyes were glossy, his skin was cold, the end was imminent. His lovely mother whispered to him to go towards the light, to her Jesus. He opened his eyes, looked at her, and said, F your Jesus. A second or two later, he slowly turned his head to the left and got the most horrific look on his face, as if he was looking at something that they couldn't see. And horrified, his face contorted, and he screamed with his last breath, eyes wide, "Oh sh*! Oh sh*! Oh no!" Then he made a guttural noise and promptly fell back into the bed and died. Every family member was shaking and too frightened to speak. The hospice nurse left the room and took 2 days off. She said she doesn't care if she never finds out what he saw.
Things you never
What
knew.
did he see?
Boys in Russia sometimes become so hungry in the summer that they become desperate for food and go to cemeteries to feast on the recently buried corpses. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space. It lasted around 42 seconds. To this day, we don't know where that signal came from. If you're ever unsure with meeting up with someone and you want to stay safe, use publicdatacheck.com. It allows you to do background checks on anyone. and even has an unknown phone number lookup for those phone numbers that call you that aren't in your contacts. This has saved a lot of people from weird and strange situations. So check out publicdatacheck.com. If your immune system found out you had eyes, it would attack them until you go blind. In 2002, actor Anthony Starr received a 12-month prison sentence because he had a bar fight in Spain. Witnesses say he drunkenly punched and smashed a bottle on a chef's head, saying to him, "You committed the mistake of your life. I'm going to look for you. I want to you." He managed to avoid jail time by paying the victim $4,000. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, let me tell you a secret. Typing "scream" all lowercase with the bars around it like this will give you a secret emoji down below. Let's see who can actually do it.
Oh man, the Homeland actor, man. He took that a little bit too seriously. What's that acting called when they, try to stay in character? I forgot, man, but he took this Homelander, take it to the next level. That's kind of insane. I never heard about that story before. Damn. You guys think, man, Homelander in real life going rogue?
Did you know that people have seen mermaids in Indiana?
Ooh.
Well, not the cute Disney mermaids that we're thinking about. No, these mermaids are referred to as mud mermaids. These sightings have been going on since the late 1800s. People in Indiana along the Ohio River have reported to see them on the banks of the river for years. And what they've reported sounds almost a little bit disturbing. These aren't your fairy tale mermaids. People say that they have green skin, hands like humans, but with long talons and webbed fingers, and razor-sharp teeth. They also say that they walk on the banks like dogs because instead of legs, like normal mermaid myths, they have tails. And they have absolutely no hair at all. Now, whatever these weird things may be, people say they're not known to attack. When they're sighted, usually they're eating other fish or frogs. But still, razor-sharp claws and teeth, that doesn't sound very inviting to me. So maybe these are freshwater mermaids, or maybe there's something else entirely. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna stay away from the banks of the Ohio River, because I do not want to run into one and find out if it really is friendly.
This is one of the worst ways somebody has ever died.
In October 2012, an awful and disturbing thing happened. A 62-year-old employee at Bumblebee Foods named Jose Molina was having a normal day in the Bumblebee facility in California. In his schedule, Jose was tasked with the performance maintenance on an 11-meter-long industrial oven, so he went inside one of the tanks to begin his work. Believing that Jose was in the bathroom, one of his co-workers actually shut the tank's door, trapping Jose inside, and then filled the oven with 5,400 kilograms of tuna and then turned the oven on. A search then ensued when the manager realized Jose was missing, but by then it was way too late. They found Jose's body 2 hours later inside the oven, completely burnt and melted away, 100% unrecognizable. The temperature inside the oven reached 270 degrees Fahrenheit, and Jose was unfortunately cooked alive inside of the tank with all the fish. And you could only imagine how horrific this death actually was. Could you imagine being cooked alive and then being crushed by tens of thousands of pounds of fish, mixed with the smell, the texture, the heat? This death was just awful. The company Bumblebee and 2 managers were actually charged for this death, and the company got off with a $6 million settlement. But do you think $6 million is way too low for a death like this? Many people believe it should have been more close to $50 million. Nonetheless, this is by far one of the worst and most uncomfortable deaths of all time, and I can't imagine Jose's thoughts as he was being cooked alive with hundreds of fish.
We need to talk about Johnny Depp's portrayal of the Mad Hatter, because it is full of dark history Easter eggs that you may have missed. If you know of the character the Mad Hatter, then you may also know about the dark history of Hatters. For 250 years, people that made hats were using a poisonous mercury-based solution that caused their bodies to fall apart and for them to slowly lose their minds, which I just did a whole episode on that and other deadly beauty and fashion trends that you should check out. When Johnny Depp got the role of the Hatter, he became obsessed with the dark history of hat making, and he wanted to include parts of that history in the character. And the the biggest homage he pays to that history is with the orange hair. The mercury solution that hatters used to use was called carotene solution because it was so bright orange. They would sit in these poorly ventilated rooms all day just inhaling the poisonous mercury, getting sicker and sicker. And Johnny Depp wanted to honor that. He wanted the skin to be pale and sickly. He wanted his teeth to look like they were decaying because that's what would happen to these people. And finally, and this is my favorite detail, he put a lot of details into the costume to make it look like he was a hat maker. Up here in his hat, there's tools to make hats. He has a ring that's a push pin, and on the other side he has this belt of thread so he could be sewing hats all day. Anyways, I have so much more on the dark history of hatting in this week's episode, and you're definitely going to want to check it out.
Morbid facts about Michael Jackson, Part 3. In 2002, Michael was staying at a hotel in Berlin when he dangled his 9-month-old son blanket over his 4th floor balcony. Jackson claimed he was simply excited and wanted to show off his baby to the fans below, but the media was quick to criticize Michael's parenting skills and life-threatening behavior. Jackson later apologized, stating that it was a mistaken judgment and that he didn't mean to endanger his son. Blanket is now 21 years old and rarely makes public appearances. During the shooting of a Pepsi commercial in 1983, Michael's hair caught on fire when the pyrotechnics went off too early. He suffered second-degree burns to his scalp and permanently lost a chunk of his hair. Many say that this moment was a major turning point in Michael's life, claiming that the painkillers he took after the accident started his downward spiral into a life of pain and drug addiction. But despite all of this, instead of suing Pepsi, Michael asked the company to fund the creation of a burn center.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. If your plane is crashing into the water, just know that flight attendants are trained to not allow any dead bodies on life rafts. That means no saving grandma for her funeral, simply yeet that bitch overboard. 1 out of every 50 women have a third nipple, and 1 out of every 100 men do too. This is known as a supernumerary nipple, and Mark Wahlberg actually has one. Harry Styles has 2. Your baby foreskin can be used as replacement skin for burn victims. That means one can quite literally be a dick face. There are corn stars born in the year 2003. That's the same year The Cat in the Hat came out. Male fetuses get boners in the womb, and these can often be seen on ultrasounds. Motherfucker.
Here are some things that are completely normal during the day, but really creepy at night. Digging holes in your backyard. I mean, it's your backyard, and you're entitled to do whatever you want to it, but if I see you digging some holes in the middle of the night, I'm gonna be really concerned. Bonus creepy points if you have some trash bags next to you, too. I feel bad for people who work graveyard shifts or are night owls, because it makes it difficult to do any gardening or landscaping without looking pretty creepy. They say a child's laughter is one of the most beautiful sounds in the world, but not if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Scary movies have absolutely ruined the sound of a child laughing for me, because most instances, I'm gonna assume the worst. And for some reason, little girls laughing are even more scary. Like, imagine being in the woods camping and you hear some little girl laughing in the distance. My brain isn't gonna think, oh cool, some family must be camping near us. No, I'm gonna think that I'm gonna get murdered or possessed by some demon. Someone knocking on your door during the day, it's annoying. Who the fuck is showing up at my house unannounced? It must be a salesman or, worse, Mormons. That same knock at 3 in the morning? No, I'm getting murdered for sure. I'm on the 2nd floor, and my only way out is to jump out the window, so I'm done for.
Hey, what the hell? Took it too far.
Probably keep you up at night. Number 1, your ears never stop growing. They get bigger and bigger the more you age. Number 2, during a person's lifetime, on average, a person spends 1 whole year sitting on the toilet. Number 3, in 1977, we received an audio signal from space that was 42 seconds long. To this day, we don't know where this audio signal came from. Number 4, raining animals. Throughout history, there have been documented instances of animal rain, a phenomenon where frogs, fish, and even spiders are swept up in waterspouts and then fall from the sky with raindrops. Number 5, the Zone of Silence is an area in Mexico where radio signals and any type of communication cannot be received or sent. Number 6, the Boiling River. In the heart of the Peruvian Amazon lies a river so hot that it boils. The Chennai-Tempishka River. It reaches temperatures up to 93 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Damn.
Number 7, the sleeping city of Kalachi. Residents of Kalachi, Kazakhstan, have been plagued by a mysterious condition that causes people to fall asleep for several days, often waking up with no memory of the episode. Investigations suggest that elevated levels of carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons due to uranium mines might be the cause, though no definite explanation has been established. Number 8. The Voynich Manuscript. This mysterious book dates back to the 15th century. It is filled with writings of an unknown language or code and detailed illustrations of non-existent plants, astronomical diagrams, and strange human-like figures in bizarre contexts. Despite efforts of cryptographers and scholars, no one was able to solve these codes. We don't know what the book says. We don't know who wrote it.
These are the 5 scariest space facts. You've been warned. If a massive asteroid was headed for the Earth, the chances are there isn't really much we could do. At any moment, the sun could emit a coronal mass ejection aimed at the Earth, and if we weren't prepared for it, it could destroy the entire world's energy grid and leave us without power for years. There are black holes lurking in the shadows, roaming throughout our galaxy, and if one entered our solar system, it would be all over. When a star runs out of fuel, it can emit a gamma ray burst, and if a star within 3,000 light years of Earth happened to emit a gamma ray burst, and it was aimed at us, the ozone layer would be destroyed. Finally, every year there is more space junk created, putting us at risk of being trapped within the Earth.
How are we polluting space now, too?
If you haven't heard about the extremely disturbing case known as the Girl Scout murders, then you may want to stick around. Viewer discretion is advised. In June of 1977, more than 100 girls headed off to Camp Scott in Locust Grove, Oklahoma, hoping for a summer filled with fun and newfound friendships. But little did these girls know that their dream would become short-lived extremely fast after a tragic event took place on the campgrounds. It was about 2 months before the incident occurred when a young camp counselor found a note in her belongings claiming that there was going to be 3 girls in one tent murdered this year while all the girls were attending camp. Knowing that the campers and other counselors like to play pranks on one another, she just dismissed the note and left it there as a joke. But little did she know that she would come to regret this very quickly when the tragic events began to unfold on the campgrounds. On the night of June 12, 1977, a storm blew through Oklahoma, leaving the girls to take cover and hide away in their sleeping bags to be protected from the bad weather. It wouldn't be until the next morning that a camp counselor would come and check on the girls after the storm and realize that 3 of them were stuffed deep down in their sleeping bags with bloody sheets and signs of strangulation. The girls whose dead bodies were found in those sleeping bags were 8-year-old Lori Farmer, 9-year-old Michelle Goose, and 10-year-old Denise Milner. After the death of these 3 innocent girls, police and other law enforcement agencies rushed to the scene so that they could start their investigation and get to the bottom of who could have possibly targeted these 3 innocent girls. Discovered near the campgrounds was a cave that police would decide to go into, where they would find masking tape and 2 wedding photos, which seemed to be a very strange combination. After the photos were released to the public, an old prison employee actually called in, claiming that he has seen those photos before and he's almost certain he knows who committed these horrific acts on these young women. And he believed that the person behind these sick and twisted murders was a man by the name of Gene Leroy Hart, who was an escaped convict and convicted rapist back during the time of the Girl Scout murders. The crazy thing is, Hart was actually acquitted due to the lack of evidence on the police end, and he claimed that he was actually framed and that he did not commit the murders, even though there was trace evidence of his DNA found at the crime scene. And it's still unknown if Hart actually committed these murders or if he was actually just framed. And now, here in 2023, after the not guilty verdict years and years ago, there is new evidence that has arisen that Gene Leroy Hart was actually very closely linked with these murders.
Gotta wait after all that damn time. Creepy cave seekers.
last words people said right before dying. Registered nurse Shirley Smith said that she had a very rich patient who was a true Satanist that was dying of cancer. The patient had upside-down crosses and a Satan's Bible by her bedside. Shirley said that she will never forget what happened. It was the middle of the summer, and yet it was so cold and dark in her room that you couldn't even stand it, even in the middle of the day. She said that it got so evil feeling in there that she had to call a priest to pray with her and her aides before they would even enter the room. When the patient passed away, she had not spoken in over 24 hours. And then all of a sudden, she sat straight up and said, "Satan, take me." And then she fell back on the bed. Shirley said that after she passed, the room got bright and extremely warm. Shockingly, when they moved the patient's body, they had to get rid of the mattress because where her body had been, it looked burnt. And the most horrible smell was emanating from the mattress cover. Needless to say, Shirley went to confession immediately because she did not want an evil spirit around her. A nurse said that one of their patients had a serious recurrence and had to be admitted. Over the course of several nights, he had become quite upset during rounds. He kept asking for his wallet, saying that he had to pay the ferryman. The medical student on rotation in the department took a quarter out of his pocket and put it in the patient's hand. The patient then dropped the coin into the cup on his bedstand and calmed down. Later that night, he passed away quietly. The nurse asked what happened. The medical student, who remembered his Greek mythology, said that the patient had to pay Charon, the ferryman, to be taken across the river Styx. A nurse said that he was doing rounds at a hospital. There was one two-patient room, and one of the patients was a very loud and confused woman who could be quite a handful. On this particular night, she had a roommate who had passed away shortly before the nurse entered the room. She was DNR, so there was no code blue. When he entered the room, he noticed that the elderly lady, who was usually very loud and confused, was sitting quietly with her hands crossed neatly upon her lap. Something was different, and there was this look of serenity on her face. She asked him in a voice that seemed much younger and clearer than before, "Did you see them, young man? They're so beautiful." He said, "No, ma'am, there's no one else here." She said, "They're right next to you, talking to Mrs. Banneker. The angels. They're so beautiful." He said that he instantly felt every hair of his body stand up, and an electric tingle course up and down his spine. "They're not here for me this time," she said sadly.
This is why you should never stay awake past 3 a.m. A woman in her early 20s was away from home on a business trip. The night before she was supposed to board her plane, she had trouble sleeping and had this intense fear that someone was staring at her in her room. She was up until 3, tossing and turning until she started to hear whispers. It was a deep voice repeating the words, "I'm coming to get you, I'm coming to get you." But she ignored it and eventually fell asleep. After her plane landed, she was exhausted but drove home anyway. About 30 minutes into her drive, she started hearing the same whispers from the previous night, but she thought it was because she was sleep deprived, so she kept driving. She was almost home when she began to feel sick. Her eyes were watering, her nose was running, and she let out a large sneeze. "Bless you," said the same deep, eerie voice. She quickly pulled into her driveway, hugged her husband, and sat down to tell him what was going on. When this happened,
I can still hear that voice.
So it's based off a movie. Okay. I say we heard this story before, or something. These clips they reviewed together, how saying, you know, if you wake up at around like 3 a.m., it might be because a spirit or something is watching you, and like you can feel it. That's why you're waking up. It's based off a, I guess a show story or something like that, a horror story. Tap in with us. You don't know.
This will be my first TikTok in English. I don't know how this is gonna go, but there was a guy going to a party one day, but his mom was having like a bad feeling about it, and she didn't want him to go, but she said, "I'm going," and he said no, but he did. And when he was getting in the car with his friends, her mom said, "God is going with you," and one of his friends laughed and said, "Only if he's going in the trunk, like the luggage rack," and they all left. Later that night, they've gotten a big car accident, like their car crashed, and when the police came, they were like looking in the car, and they all died. The 4 people in the car died. And when they looked in the trunk, there was an egg box, and all the eggs were like perfect still. but he all died. So yeah, God was in the trunk.
What do you guys think?
That's a creepy story, man. Truly, because it's like the mom. She said, I was in the trunk. And I guess she was trying to warn her son something not to go, but he still went anyways. Like how sometimes, you know, parents, they get that feeling or they get the sense something is off. They know what's about to happen before you do. That's very eerie. What do you guys think? I say, watch what you say.
Afraid to have a girlfriend. Hunted relationships. In 2012, a boy Nathan said his girlfriend died in a horrible car crash. They were dating for 5 years. He was struggling trying to get over it and was grieving for about 13 months when he got a Facebook message. It was from his dead girlfriend Emily. He thought it was her mom on her Facebook page, but it wasn't. A few more months, the conversations continued, and she kept making references to the past relationship that they had that only they knew about. He started getting notifications of her on Facebook of her tagged in spaces that she should have been. He knew her Facebook passwords and changed them. And the messages and tags still kept coming. She would write weird messages like she's cold, she's freezing, and that she didn't know what was going on. To this day, he doesn't know if it was some type of sick joke or really a message from the dead. Give this video a thumbs up if you want more true scary stories.
Sound like a haunted relationship, man.
This is why you should never explore abandoned ships. In 2014, the US Navy decided to decommission one of its oldest ships, so it brought it into port to be broken down for scrap. Before workers were allowed to actually start breaking it down, the foreman had to go on board and take pictures of every room. So late one night, the foreman spends about an hour walking through this abandoned ship with a flashlight, taking about 100 pictures. When he was done, he emailed the pictures to his boss, who quickly wrote back, "Who's the guy with the axe?" The foreman had no idea what he was talking about, but he noticed the boss had attached one of the pictures that he had just sent him. When he opened it, he nearly fainted. There, in the bowels of the ship, poking his head around a corner, was a faceless man wielding an axe. The foreman had spent over an hour in this hallway and never heard or saw this guy. The Navy searched the ship and never found this guy. They also reviewed security footage of the only entrance, and he never entered or left the ship.
Okay, so how the hell did he get on the ship then, man? That was like they said, that was the oldest ship in like US history, so... And nobody noticed a faceless man with an axe? People have to be more aware of their surroundings. That's actually insane, man. I definitely want to do kind of a deep dive into that and see what else we can uncover. It's crazy how someone can be in a ship that long, undetected.
This is the Dark Mirror, and it's one of the most haunted items in the world. The original owner of this mirror purchased it at a psychic fair, but immediately claimed that there was something very evil about it. So she donated it to a traveling museum for the paranormal. This museum has a whole bunch of different paranormal objects, but the Dark Mirror is by far the most horrifying. The museum actually has to keep the mirror covered and tell people that if they're going to look into it, they have to do so at their own risk. Because the people who are brave enough almost always regret it. The people who have looked into the mirror claim to feel an immediate sense of doom and depression. But for others, it was far more horrifying. Some claim to see their own facial expressions warp and twist, and others would look into it and see their own dead body. The people who hold the mirror claim to feel a strange sense of electricity. And every night, the museum workers cover up the mirror. Every morning, they find it mysteriously uncovered.
What the hell's uncovering that mirror? I'm definitely
This is why you should never buy an Alexa. In 2012, a little boy named Johnny was just chilling at home. He just came back from school, so he decided to chill on his bed. He started to scroll through Instagram, but he heard something from his closet. Johnny does have an Alexa, and when he said, "Alexa, turn off the light," she didn't turn off the light. So he knew something was off. He opened his walk-in closet to see what was going on. Then he heard the Alexa talking to herself. Alexa was apparently giving Amazon their address and personal information. 3 days later, the family was found dead.
Alexa? What the hell? That's that technology, man, trying to take over, bro. What the? Alexa talking to herself. You know how sometimes actually, man, you know how sometimes Siri be popping up on my phone sometimes. I don't be saying nothing. She just be popping up. I had to turn her off a couple of times, bro, because that was just too creepy of a coincidence to me, man. They be recording our voices. Yeah, they talking to themselves, communicating. Pay attention, seekers.
She must have been out of her head.
Alright, send this to a friend to save a friend. Also, I'm still following people back on Instagram, so go check out my Instagram after the video. This girl name is Emily. Emily lived in a small town with her parents. She always told her family about her imaginary friend named Kelly that lived in her closet. Emily said that Kelly also sat on a chair at nighttime to watch her sleep. One night while the family was watching a horror movie on TV, the little girl said,
That looked like Kelly.
Her parents then asked,
Who's Kelly?
The little girl then said,
The dead girl that lived in my closet.
Her dad replied, What are you talking about, baby? There's no dead girl that lived in my closet.
I'm about to check my closet.
Down by the bay, down by the bay, where the watermelon rock, If you go home, just don't get caught,
What the hell? Some creepy short
Warning,
stories.
you might not be able to sleep tonight. There's a story of a woman that they call a monster within. In 2015, a patient began to have headaches, and a doctor discovered what they thought was a brain tumor. When they removed it, it had hair, teeth, and bones. Not that bones. There you go. This fell into her brain when she was an embryo, and then it began to develop as her life went on. This condition is called teratoma, with 20,000 cases a year, and some cases even have eyes in them. Okay, that's enough internet for today.
Ooh. Body growing inside of you? And you don't even know, and they said that's like extremely rare, 20,000 cases. The human body, man. It's capable of all sorts of things, bro, that my mind could never even comprehend. Ooh, I don't even want to think about that, man. It's some chills down my spine.
This is why you should always be careful what you wish for. So in 2013, a guy actually encountered a genie, and this genie gave him one wish and only one wish. This guy was named Richard, and he wished for his wife to be back with him. But what he didn't know is the genie brought back his wife with him, but she was actually still dead and a living zombie. Follow only if you can handle scary stories. If you can't, don't follow.
So we follow up on that? Get the complete ending?
Creepier pictures which have even creepier backstories. This shirt belonged to a young boy who went missing when he was a child, but 29 years later, they found this shirt underground with his body parts. Ugh. Next is this picture from one of the gas chambers during the Holocaust. If you look closely, you can see the scratch marks, and it was basically a picture taken after they were already dead, and you can see people were really trying to get out. But yeah, this one's kind of sad, but really fucking creepy.
These are real life glitches caught on camera. And yes, the photo at the end is real. So now this is the boy Tony. He's 70 and lives alone in this city. But when he saw this, he lost his pants. Now this is one picture of the 4 identical men. They're the same exact person. Now this is a glitch in the Matrix.
Hell yeah, it definitely looked like it was. Like the 4 of them coincidence back to back to back. That ain't no damn coincidence, bro. They all on the same bus. We've seen a couple of glitches in the Matrix, man. Maybe one day we should do like a whole video on it, if you guys want me to. Crazy stories,
Hold up, we're about to get real dark real fast. There's a graveyard that floats on water called the Boat Graveyard. These are ships that were broken in World War II and have never been completely destroyed. Some say there's still bodies that float on the water. They keep parts of the boat lying around the area. There's no way to actually see what's inside. Apparently, if you walk around, you'll see ghosts and spirits moving around the place. Everything was fine until we saw someone moving around inside this building.
They went inside there?